You can only.
I'm
Y'all
sorry,
need to
Miss
shoot
Geneva.
enemy combatants wearing uniforms.
Yeah.
Y'all take the pussy of y'all enemies.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be
Miles.
taking no pussy.
Miles. Disarm that 2-stage thermonuclear device. But Miss Geneva.
But Miss Geneva, Laotians ain't people.
Good call, Adam, asking if just letting us know that you know it was signed in Geneva.
Oh no, I just wanted to get
that's where
that out there
was
so I knew, so people knew that I was smart
Right.
about war crimes.
What about the Godiva Convention?
It's chocolate.
Well, it's a bitch with naked on a horse.
Damn, I would love to eat some chocolate.
And you fuck her, and then she gives you chocolate. That would
Godiva
be cool.
chocolate.
Mm-hmm. It's named after. Isn't there a bitch that rode a horse naked?
Yeah.
Lady Godiva.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, is
She's
she
a chocolate-
real or fictitious?
She's
How
a
about
chocolate
Lady
type of bitch.
Gugina?
Gugina?
Yeah.
Lady Gugina.
She rides around. She's got the best pussy in town.
Oh, yeah. Is she nude also?
Mm-hmm. That's how they know.
A guy.
Because you can see it and it looks
They can
awesome.
see it. Yeah, they can all see it.
And it's sloppy and just wet.
I would think that a guy gina was like a trans
Lady
person's ass.
Gugina.
Mm-hmm.
Good gina.
Yeah, dude. Lady Gugina. A guy gina is your ass.
That's not my ass.
No,
just-
yours.
Or just I guess a guy's ass.
Yeah, a trans. Why would it be a trans woman? That's a girl gina.
Well, it's my girl.
Yeah, trans women have real vaginas, dude. There's no difference between the two. A guy gina is what you have.
Well,
Yeah.
a trans woman's
A trans
penis
woman wouldn't have a
becomes-
guy gina.
No, it becomes her clit.
Or her dick, depending
Her
on
girl-
It becomes her clit.
It's
yeah,
always
she
been
refers to it as a girl clit,
What do you mean
become
she
anything.
refers to it?
or
that.
as
Yeah. What are you implying,
her
Adam?
What are you
big-
implying? What's your
That
implication?
they're making something up?
I'm not saying
Are
that.
you saying they're implying something?
I never said any of that.
You did, dude.
I'm sorry. Did you just say that trans people are implying that they're faking it?
They're not implying anything.
Guy.
They
Why would a
call-
woman have a guy gina, dude?
Well, if they're pre-op or post-op.
That's not what a woman has.
I would love to just force people into confessions all day long.
Like a priest?
No,
Or
like,
like a shitty
like
cop.
a shitty
Like a
cop.
cop?
Yeah.
yeah. Like a cop trying to wrap up in a.
You murdered her, and we'll drop all the child porn stuff. Nah.
Sign this confession and you'll go home and I'll give you $100.
We're gonna take you to McDonald's, and you can meet Ronald.
The Ronald.
What do you mean? I can't weed though.
That's how he solves crimes. He just goes to a special ed school.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, all right, let me get
best
4.
cop on the force. He's got 100% clearance rate.
Take that one off the board.
Yeah, just testifying in court. It was at this point that the defendant, Scooter, who I've identified earlier, confided in me that he committed all 37 of the murders in between 1981 and 1995 as outlined. So the defense attorney is like, so you mean to tell me that he confidently assured you that these were not only separate murders that happened all across the country by different motives. One of them was just a woman that drowned in Turkey on vacation. And they were committed by him as serial acts over the
Yes.
last 35 years. Yes, I would like
That
to
is
say that
correct.
is correct.
Scooter, would you like to affirm that? And keep in mind, meeting Ronald depends on your answer.
Me and Ronald, and the prosecutor is like, he's being judged by a jury of his peers, and it's also other retarded people. And then I'm looking at them, I'm like, McDonald's.
Ronald.
Who wants to be Ronald?
They're like, we find that defendant McDonald's. And they're like, no, it's guilty or not guilty. Which one means we get to go to McDonald's?
Guilty.
Guilty. Say guilty so we can go. Guilty. And then the kicker, you never bring them to McDonald's.
Wow.
None of them ever get to go.
You
to
just lie to them.
Yeah.
It's good police, though. That is good,
police work,
police.
man.
You're
The way
good
they taught
police.
you in the academy.
Uh-huh.
The way they just, the fucking basics, baby. You got to piss?
Yeah.
Why don't you piss into my ass?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you piss into his ass?
No
Ain't
answer
you
for
gay
that one.
for
huh?
that? Probably.
Got him.
His dick will get too hard to piss at the sight of an asshole. I can't go.
I can't do it, man.
Oh, dick's too hard.
Come on, hurry up, dude. I'm tired of holding
I'm
my
trying
ass
to hold
open.
my ass open so you can piss in it as a favor
As
to
a
you,
friend,
as a
dude.
friend.
But you keep getting turned
you
on
keep getting turned
by
on
my hairy man's
by
ass.
a man's hole. Because you're gay. Got him.
God. Classic.
Classic.
Textbook.
A classic get. I'm surprised people... It's got to end soon.
What?
People listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd think so. But that's what I thought the second we started the show. But, you know, we keep... I mean, we'll probably say Adam's too gay to piss in my ass in like 3 weeks or so.
What are you saying?
Nothing. We decided to end the show forever while you were in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Damn, that...
Before Canada or after?
I guess we do
Just
have to
right
go to
now.
Canada.
We have to
Canada's
go to Canada.
the farewell tour.
That would be funny. We
We
don't
should
tell
We
anyone.
should dress up like the Eagles.
Oh, that
And
yeah.
just try to play their music. Instead of doing the stand-up show and the live podcast, without any practice, we try to play the Eagles songs.
I'll be drums.
by
I'm
ear.
horrible at drums.
Take
Yeah.
it
No, I'm Don Henley. I already decided.
Is Don Henley drums?
Drums and
drums.
vocals.
Oh, what?
He doubles up, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
He drummed and vocal?
Yeah. That's always very cool when a
That's
drummer
awesome
sings.
when people do
The guy
that
from the
shit.
band that did that. Yeah, other people.
Who else?
Phil Collins.
That's cool.
Phil Collins was the drummer
That's
in
some
Genesis.
wild-ass rhythm. You
Yeah.
can't do that, Nick. I'm the only one with the kind of rhythm for that.
I already decided I don't want to be in the Eagles anymore.
Who's the coolest guy other than Don Henley?
Glenn Fry.
He's dead. He also made The Heat Is On from the Beverly Hills Cop
Oh,
soundtrack.
damn, I'm him.
Another Don Simpson classic, by the way.
That is good stuff.
You know they were up in the Hollywood Hills wearing
Suck
all
me
white, doing cocaine in the
easy.
middle of the day.
The dream.
Studio sessions.
Maybe
The
we could just start a
heat is
production. Maybe
on.
we just start become movie producers.
Yeah.
What do you need to be a movie producer?
I don't know, but I need to get the day going here.
All right.
Nice.
Later.
Bye, guys. We're in Canada.
Yeah, come see us in Canada.
Come see us in Canada.
Come town
Cometown.
Hey there, listeners. This is Henry Zabrowski, and I just wanted to thank all of the amazing companies that donated their time and energy and artists who gave their work for free for the Samhain Gala. We ended up raising over $10,000 for charity, and something like 75 pounds of clothes went for our No New Dudes clothing drive, which I'm crazy proud of. I want to thank you so much for the support, and here we go. It's for Brave New World Tattoos, Kate at Mr. Holmes Bakehouse, the macaron guy at Crumble Bumpets, which is a beautiful company. It's very tasty, very light macaroons. Stephanie and Moonbeam Wax Melts, she gave so much. It was so, thank you so very much. The Bigfoot Lounge, Hyena Gallery, and the Bearded Lady Mystic Museum. And I want to like to thank the artists that donated their work: Patrick Kane, Andrea Everard, Shane Walsh, Christian Michael, Jeff Adams. Thank you so much. Hail Satan, and we'll see you next year.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Now, so Bill Cooper essentially has ruined Alex Jones for me, which is very sad for me.
Oh, I know. You're devastated.
But I will say, his body is the best body in alternative entertainment.
Wow.
Alex Jones has an incredible body, and I
Wow.
celebrate his body, and I'm trying to get it. And I started realizing, you know what you do to get it?
What's that?
So I've been dieting like normal and working out, but what you got to do is a lot of weights that come from your knees up. A lot of holding big, like you're holding a big woman or a big man, and they're grinding on you, and you have to keep them from getting off your lap.
Like,
Right? That's
like
a good way.
dumb Navy SEAL training.
That's a good way. And
Yeah,
then it's a
I
lot
see.
of high-fat meats and boozes.
You're going back to your Chris Farley diet.
Alex Jones got the way he looks perfect by getting fat on whiskey, which is really difficult.
All right, that's very true. All right, let's move on to before Alex Jones. There was a conspiracy theorist, Bill Cooper. We're on to part 2 of Bill Cooper, and a lot to get to here. A lot of
And
craziness.
who are we,
Have
Ben?
to introduce
Oh
the
my God! They know who we are. Okay, we've had this argument before. There was a whole show intro. There's no place to escape to.
Yeah,
Welcome. It's the last podcast on the
But
left.
our name said?
Say, you idiot,
I am Ben
you are
Kissel.
a host.
That is Marcus Parks.
Which one? You just pointed at who?
That's Marcus Parks.
That's
Hello.
radio. They
You're
can't see-
Henry Zabrowski.
Yeah.
I am Ben Kissel. Marcus speak.
Hello.
Marcus. Henry speak. That's Henry. We're on to Bill Cooper part 2.
So before we get into the meat of the episode, we got to make one correction right up top. The man who Bill Cooper shot in his final stand did not actually die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's innocent.
That's great. Good
No,
for
he's
him.
not. No, he's still an attempted murderer.
Well, you know.
Yeah, he shot him
not
twice in the head and he failed.
But in the end, I think it shows me, and it should show all of you, he didn't really want to kill him.
He shot him twice in the head.
But
Yes, he didn't shoot him with the singing bullets from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You don't know what
they
he
were
did.
trying to kill him.
Bill Cooper had his own means and his own ways, and the ways to the means.
All right.
Well, in the last episode, we covered a range of chapters from Behold a Pale Horse. On this one, we'll be focusing completely on a chapter called The Secret Government, in which Bill Cooper presents us with the big granddaddy of alien conspiracies.
I'm going to say this also up top. If you're listening to this podcast, congratulations. We're good. We're good at the show. All right. And we like to provide content. We do a lot of work.
Okay.
But what you got to do is stop listening to everything. Stop listening to everything that you do. Anything. Your
Is this
parents, your
reverse psychology?
fucking wife, your husband. Stop listening to these people. Stop listening to the podcast. Buy a copy of Behold a Pale Horse and read it, and then listen to several of his lectures, because there's no way you're going to get all of the fun as fuck important details that should be in the story
Fun
without
as
reading it.
fuck to you.
No, to everyone with.
Now, we are going to be covering some ground we've already tread, but it's important to review some of this so we can see the whole picture. That whole picture is how all this, specifically probably, led to the formation of the New World Order.
Ooh, NWO.
Yes.
I got it.
The chapter we're talking about was based off a lecture Bill Cooper gave at a MUFON symposium in Las Vegas in 1989, which is ironic considering comments he made further into the chapter.
Can you imagine what the slot machines looked like during the MUFON conference?
Sticky.
Just the amount of I was promised a free drink if I'm playing the slots, and I have been playing the slots for 2 hours and no one has offered me a free drink.
I will say this. I imagine they were unoccupied because MUFON members are very serious about attending the lectures.
Yes,
they
that
sit
is
there,
true.
they buy all the memorabilia, they take a lot of notes. And someone brought up to me on Twitter is that technically, if you were correct in the pronunciation of UFO of UFO, it could be MUFON. But the thing is that MUFON is more about sounds, right? MUFON sounds better than MUFON because MUFON just sounds like, oh man, I can't grow pubes. I better put my muff on before I
for
go and see my girlfriend for my birthday.
Sounds like a bizarre attachment to a sex toy.
But before we get into Bill's very harsh criticisms of the UFO community, let's take a trip with him all the way back to 1947.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And rockin', 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 rockin' all day long.
Oh, the spritzer, please. Just a seltzer water for me.
So the total count of extraterrestrial crash landings worldwide that we know of from January 1947 until December of 1952 sits at 16.
Okay.
Of those 16, 13 were in America.
Pay attention.
Nice.
1 in Arizona, 1 in Nevada, and 11 in New Mexico.
Indians.
The others landed in Old Mexico and Norway, scoring 2 and 1, respectively.
Well, how the hell did the one land in Norway? Way off course.
I don't know. They probably thought that they were going to Epcot, and then they ended up in shitty real Norway. Actually, that's not true. Apparently, Norway's very nice.
Yes,
we covered it in Norwegian black metal. They said it's a very liberal, lovely country that's so liberal it makes people mad.
There it is.
Spread across those 16 ships were 65 aliens, all deceased upon crashing, but one, whom we'll get to later. 2 crafts alone, one found near Aztec and the other near White Sands, both in New Mexico, held 17 aliens.
All right.
Well, or bodies, or mixtures, or depending upon, it's either conscious aliens and they're organic robots, if it's grays and whites, if it's possible that it's
They're
also some that just
mixing,
look
you
like
think?
humans. Yeah, they mix.
Oh, okay.
They have to mix. They're employers.
Oh, I see. And there's rules.
Barely absorb any single thing we talk about.
Yeah. Yep.
But perhaps even more terrifying, besides concrete evidence that alien life existed, was the fact that most of the ships were chock full of human body parts.
Now, you remember that mixed into the alien phenomenon, alien crash phenomenon, there's a lot of animal mutilations and also human mutilations and human implants that are done. And so what they're saying is that when they go to these crashes, now and imagine this, right? For some reason, it's all the Navy doing this shit too. It's like the Air Force was like kind of a part of it, but they're only a part of it when they're in the sky. The Navy handle them when they're on the ground, which I don't really understand why, because Navy's...
It's for the sea.
I think maybe it's because you can keep a lot more secrets out on the ocean.
Well, maybe the government really didn't want them to do a good job, so they brought the people who are good on water to the land and brought the land people to the water.
Well, technically, that is sound conspiracy theory thinking.
It's a thought.
Well, the Air Force wasn't actually created until 1947. So by the time these crash landings happened, then the Air Force was still a pretty new organization. And some might say that the Air Force might have been created as a direct response to the alien threat.
You might say. I'm definitely saying. And so the Navy would go and go find these ships that landed or crashed, because some of them they found completely intact, just there with dead aliens inside of it. Sometimes they found them all ripped up, and they would go and there would be bodies strewn everywhere, or the thing would be ripped over to the side like a bunch of aluminum foil, because they said like in Roswell, it was a very flimsy metallic material that they all seemed to. It's somehow the anti-gravitational engines that they use, or the weird reactors that only work with water, which is apparently a thing that they said that they found, these little football-shaped things. Or as Bill Cooper said, larger than a football or a small basketball.
Oh, so maybe like a rugby ball.
Yes, a rugby ball. That would have been good, but he's a Texan, so he didn't give a shit about
So he
fucking
didn't
rugby.
think about that.
And so they would go and they would go through these wreckage. They don't know what they're looking at, but as they're digging through the wreckage, they're finding all these feet and hands and shit like this in it.
It's like Picton's pig farm.
Yes. And they got very concerned. So now they realize, oh, this is part of where the secret keeping mechanism is going to come in. Because up to this point, they were just finding alien bodies and ships, right? And so they were very, like, at this point, it's just like a question, being like, what the fuck are these ships? What are aliens? Why are they here? They're already panicking. As soon as they started finding knees, they knew that they had to start doing
it's
something.
very serious,
Yes.
Well, this, of course, it caused quite a bit of alarm, so the government decided to do something about it. That something was the CIA.
Ooh, Central Intelligence Agency.
Great, Kissel.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. So you're just going to sort of try to cling on to the things you sort of understand.
Yes.
The entire purpose of the CIA, at least at first, was to deal with the alien threat that humanity had just been faced with for the first time. It was only later that the whole thing would get out of hand.
I don't know. I feel like once that first alien ship crashes in 1947, shit got out of hand.
Oh, yeah.
Now, all this happened during the Truman administration, and Truman's Secretary of Defense was an honest man named James Forrestal, who believed wholeheartedly that the public should know about all this UFO business.
He also may have been a little anti-Semitic.
Oh, there was a lot of that.
He was very much so against the creation of Palestine.
I did not know that.
It's interesting.
Well, if he was against the creation of Palestine, that would make him pro-Israel.
It was something.
So.
There's a lot of complicated issues in that world.
Yeah, oh, it's the Middle East.
I handle aliens. I handle aliens and UFOs. That's what I understand. I started reading about it, and he seemed to be very upset.
Well, Truman decided that all this was best left to the shadows, so he forced Forrestal to resign his post. Forrestal then suffered a quote-unquote mental breakdown and was remanded to the mental ward at Bethesda Naval Hospital. And there, according to Bill Cooper, CIA agents tied one end of a bedsheet around Forrestal's neck and the other end to a fixture in his hospital room and threw Forrestal out the window. The sheet broke and Forrestal fell to his doom.
Yes, and people say that the fall caused his death, but actually I think it was the street.
Yeah, it could be.
It's also what's called the CIA Christmas ornament.
Yeah. It is like such a ridiculously stupid way for the CIA to kill someone.
Yeah, Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to see a lot of weird logic. And a part of it is sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. So if you want to make a thing to appear to be the truth, it has to look really weird.
Stranger than fiction.
See?
Yeah.
Now, Forrestal's diaries, which were full of alien tidbits.
It's pretty fucking cool. His diaries are like the secret diaries of Laura Palmer or the book about the mysteries behind Twin Peaks.
The
Mark
secret,
Frost book.
the secret dossier, which if you haven't read is fucking great, and the second one is almost even better.
And Forrestal's in there. You gotta remember, Forrestal was he was gonna say, like, we need to do something about these alien, basically all of this alien shit started coming in, because now immediately they're trying to compartmentalize, like, on a need-to-know basis, who's gonna know about these aliens. We have to keep a really, really tight lid on all of the shit that's happening. Forrestal was already kind of cracking.
Yeah.
We viewed him as, because he was so fucking pure, he couldn't handle the truth hard enough.
Well, it would destroy a lot of things if they found out about the aliens. Religion's gone. The country is gone.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it, Kissel. It's starting now.
I don't know if you know the half of it.
I do know.
You know the half of it?
I know. I think actually I'm afraid that I only know half of it. But Forrestal is really, his death was very fishy.
Yeah. It was extremely fishy. And it did actually happen. He did, he was, at least fell out of a window. He was either thrown out or by himself committed suicide. We don't really know, but it was a fishy death.
And he wrote this sort of final letter that was a poem that I forget that goes, it was from some Greek play that was just about sadness and looking upon the rocks of the beach, but the final thing was like, and then behold the soul of the nightingale. And nightingale was the code name for one of the Nazi scientist groups that Forrestal helped bring to the United States during Operation Paperclip. And they're thinking that he may have been feeling guilt for having done that.
Fair Salamis, the billows roar, wander around thee yet, and sailors gaze upon thy shore, firm in the ocean set. Thy sun is in a foreign clime, where Ida feeds her countless flocks, far from thy dear remembered rocks, worn by the waste of time, comfortless, nameless, hopeless, save in the dark prospect of the yawning grave. Woe to the mother in her close of day, woe to her desolate heart and temples gray, when she shall hear her loved one's story whispered in her ear. Woe, woe will be the cry, no quiet murmur, like the tremulous wail of the lone bird, the querulous nightingale.
I gotta say, he seems suicidal.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a sad poem.
So that's kind of more proof that it might have been a suicide. But what does this have to do with Bill Cooper?
He's being very Ellen Smith. You should understand. It all has to do
What
with
does
Bill
this
Cooper.
have to do with Bill Cooper?
We're getting into it, man,
Please, Lord.
because this is a huge story that's all coming together. Because Bill Cooper, in this case, we're just talking about Bill Cooper's theories.
Right.
It's all coming together because those diaries that were written by James Forrestal were taken, rewritten, edited, and years later released to a CIA agent named Whitley Strieber.
Yeah.
Author
He's a CIA
of Communion.
agent.
And then he rewrote it and released them as the book we know as majestic.
And then Whitley Strieber became the worst dinner guest of all time, constantly being like, thank you so much for having me for dinner. It has been wonderful. The mashed potatoes, they're so wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
so
I worked really hard on this.
yeah, it means a lot. When the alien first raped me, he spread me so open that the cracks of my anus, it was dry down there.
You know, the funny
it
thing
was
is-
February, so I was getting ashy around my lips part. So just the stretching of it cracked
You know
it
what's
to
so
the
funny?
point of bleeding.
We also have green beans. Yeah,
These
I
are
also
just
made green beans. Yeah.
Long and thin,
Yeah, like
like the fingers of the gray,
okay.
as he slowly penetrated my anus.
Yeah. Well, try the steak.
Well, speaking of pop culture, let's return to that surviving alien we mentioned earlier. That creature was found wandering the deserts of New Mexico following the Roswell crash.
It is like so funny to think about this cute like alien all alone.
And he was named EB by his captors.
Extraterrestrial biological entity.
EB.
EB, okay.
And it took 2 full years of captivity and interrogation for EB to start spilling secrets, but eventually he opened up.
Oh my God! Just give him a Coke. Don't they see the advertisements?
You know,
give
I
him
know.
a Coca-Cola Classic.
We're gonna
he'll
get
start
into why he
talking.
couldn't have a Coke and a smile.
Now, the things we learned from EB were compiled into the infamous Yellow Book. Now, Henry, could you tell us what the Yellow Book is?
Of course I can. Now, what the Yellow Book started as was a notebook that the guy that was assigned to EB, his interrogator, who eventually, and his hostage taker, and eventually turned friend, an unnamed lieutenant that would sit and take notes of what EB said. Now, originally, when they would ask questions of EB didn't want to. Aliens have a lying problem, which is the
What do you
weird
mean?
thing that pops up. They have a problem with lying. They always lie.
Why?
And so because they have agendas that are past us. They have agendas that are past us, and I think they hold their cards really close to their chest. They don't want you to know the plans, because I think a lot of the plans have to be, you'll be dead in 2200. Whether you have to be like, they
yes.
can't really fill us in the whole plan because we're just waiting here. We're just batteries, or we're being used for hybrid programming, and once we're done with it, we'll be fucking shucked to the side, Kissel.
All right.
Do not trust the aliens.
I don't. I never have.
EB was so cute that he would only answer questions that had a positive answer. So it's stuff be like, so EB, what's your favorite television show? I like Jackie Gleason. He is funny the way he threatens to beat his wife. So when will I die, EB? Is it soon? No. You're nodding your head.
There it is. But I do like that EB was aware that the honeymooners was problematic.
Well, what's funny, Henry, is that you may have brought up Jackie Gleason.
I know.
Subconsciously.
I know exactly why I brought up Jackie Gleason. Because Jackie Gleason had a story about LBJ.
No, Nixon.
No, I heard LBJ.
I heard Nixon.
I heard it was an alien.
Yes. He went to go. LBJ or Nixon showed Jackie Gleason a dead alien body.
Because Nixon and Jackie Gleason were friends, and one night Nixon and Jackie
hammered.
Gleason were hammered at the
hammered.
White House. And
Hey,
like
you want to
Nixon
see a fucking alien? Yeah, this will get your dick hard, Jackie, huh?
To the moon.
yeah, and Jackie Gleason didn't say anything about it. It wasn't until a few years ago that Jackie Gleason's wife came out, but she wanted to say it in her biography, but her biography got scrubbed by the powers that be. But word got out.
Order of the Nine.
I can't
Own the
believe.
publishing companies. And
Yeah.
so the Yellow Book ended up being just his notes. What we're going to find out is we already did in Project Serpo, the Yellow Book at some point transforms into a digital square that holds the story of all humankind.
So the yellow book is the notes of the person who was interrogating EB.
Yes, and the Yellow Book was just the EB began to describe how the human being, how we got here, and the story of his people.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, EB got sick in 1951, and none of the doctors knew what to do, as EB was closer to a plant than a human.
That's why he can't have a
Oh,
coat.
That's why he can't have a coat, because his system was all about chlorophyll.
Oh my goodness! You can't even have a Pepsi. Out.
But he's
You can't do
kept
anything.
underground.
Yeah.
Right, because we're going
Like a
to
plant.
be like, he has to be underground because that's where all our biggest secrets are kept,
Mm-hmm.
so he can't get the light and the nutrients he needs.
There's only like a young person, really smart, big brain, above average intelligence, maybe named Sheldon.
No!
Like a young Sheldon. Maybe could have broken EB.
That would have been a good story for Sheldon to have ended up being brought down to Los Alamos, and then EB shoots him with a fucking laser, and it's just his skeleton's exposed.
Well, who they did bring in was a botanist named Dr. Guillermo Mendoza.
He sounds like a Robin Williams Hispanic character.
That sounds fun.
Ay. You mean to tell me I thought they come to look at a rose? You make me look at this tiny man? Hey, what's a botanist to do?
Well, I'm not sure. He might not have sounded that way. I don't know. We'll say that one's up in the air.
Well, even though they brought in Dr. Mendoza, E.B. died anyway on June 2nd, 1952. And this is where the pop culture comes in. Almost 30 years to the day after E.B.'s death, a thinly veiled version of E.B.'s story was told in the heartwarming family film E.T.
Now,
Wow.
there's a lot of this. There's
going to be a ton of this we're going to talk about.
I love E.T.
Because Steven Spielberg used a consultant for this movie and Close Encounters of the Third Kind that was a member of Project Blue Book. And he would go talk, because Project Blue Book is a real thing, a disinformation fucking center, which we'll get into too, but he was a real entity of the government, and he used him as a consultant, and he told him these stories, he says, it had nothing to do with E.B. It's a story about his imaginary friend that he had when Steven Spielberg's parents got divorced, which he's fucking obsessed with. He sounds like fucking David Berkowitz. He is constantly in his documentary, the Spielberg documentary. He's like, my parents got divorced.
That was very traumatic for him.
Drown your fucking tears with your precious money, Steven Spielberg.
That
with
means-
those Jaws t-shirts.
You can't stuff a heart with cash.
That's true, Ben.
It needs love.
Now, even though Dr. Mendoza couldn't save E.B., that's not to say the government didn't do everything they could to save him. They broadcast a distress signal into space, calling the whole effort Project Sigma. And even though no answer came from the Ebens, as E.B.'s race was called, the communication with alien races was deemed to be a worthy cause. So to deal with this sector of alien relations, President Truman created the National Security Agency, the NSA.
Now, the NSA, technically, according to Bill Cooper, are not be held to any laws to not specifically name the NSA to them. That's like a part of their way that it was developed, the way they're created, because this is also created by executive orders, which is a kind of a funny thing. Where the CIA was just made with a piece of paper. The NSA was made with a piece of paper. And basically, we're also going to find out the NSA was the perfect shell corporation, the shell entity to put all of the black ops money underneath. And so no one questioned where the money went to because it went to the NSA, and the NSA was outside of the law. So there's nobody who could go, there's checks and balances.
Now, as far as things went in
There were a
1990.
lot of secret Nazis in the country, though.
Yes.
They were finding them.
Well, there were a lot of secret Nazis in the country,
A lot of
and
fun.
some of them were working, for us. Yeah, they were working for us, but in what capacity were they working for us? Were they actually working for us, or were they all just a part of the fucking smoke screen?
I'll tell you one thing. None of them watered that frickin' plant, a.k.a. that alien. That would have kept the damn thing alive.
Water.
Just give.
It's easy.
I don't know what to
Water.
do. We've spun it around 360 times. I have no... we kick it 8 times a day.
Well, as far as things went in 1991, when Cooper wrote Behold a Pale Horse, the NSA's primary function was communicating with alien races, but that was about 5 presidents back, so things might have changed since then.
Things have gotten more subtle.
I don't know about that.
Now, the problem with all this was the alien issue was by no means confined to American borders, but communicating with other nations meant a larger possibility that the secret would get out, so a group was formed to oversee the communication.
And guess what this fucking piece of shit group was called?
The Bilderberg Group, nicknamed the Bilderbergers.
The Bilderbergers. I love
Kind
it.
of cute. It's a good also name for a chain.
It's a good name for a chain. It's a good name for a game. I love it. Also, check out the documentary A Good American. It's all about Bill Binney, who was quite important when it comes to the NSA. Slightly different topic matter, but check that one out. A Good American.
All right.
Disinformation.
Bill Binney. No, Bill Binney's very legit.
From the Bilderbergs Group beginnings as nothing more than a glorified bureaucracy, the Bilderbergers eventually became one of the main arms of the secret government. Do you see where we're going here?
Okay,
Ben?
listen
I
to this.
get it.
Now
I
imagine this.
see it clear as I see a McDonald's M.
Aliens fit into the Illuminati like this. The Illuminati, which we are finding out, is many, many board meetings. It's conference rooms that have been occupied by men that are in many different meetings at the same time. Like there's a meeting happening on the phone, but there's also a meeting happening inside of the room. And so two
double
different meetings,
meeting.
and there are many different bureaucratic arms. When we did that list of the different groups that consist of the Illuminati, basically what you're talking about is all different arms, functions of the Illuminati. Certain sections of it are in charge of other things. It's a gigantic system of bureaucracy
Yeah.
that is meant to be super confusing, and it all is supposed to point up to the Order of the Nine, which who knows what that is. So we don't know who those people are. But the Bilderbergers were supposed, the idea was getting everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Because now these aliens are showing up everywhere. People are making willy-nilly deals back and forth with these aliens, and they're showing up, and we have to figure out how do we deal with them.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
So while alien contact in the 20th century began with Truman, it didn't really ramp up until Dwight D. Eisenhower came on the scene.
Yeah.
Just in his first year alone, 9 more discs crashed in America. 4 in Arizona, 2 in Texas, just 1 in New Mexico, 1 in Montana, and 1 in Louisiana.
Oh, you gotta have that gumbo when you ride out, man. I'll tell you that, Mr. Alien. You like that damn do sausage?
It's a gross exaggeration of the Louisianan people.
I need water. I just need water.
Oh, we ain't got no water down here. We just got nice. You got a roux, and you put that brown sauce on it. I don't know what it is, but it's spicy enough to make your feet sweat.
I just want water.
I'm
It is very difficult to-
legitimately hungry now.
Honestly, it is legitimate. It is hard to find water in New Orleans.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, honestly, though, Dwight D. Eisenhower, he does look a bit like an idiot taking control.
He's got a bulbous head, top heavy.
He's very what's his name? Like the quarterback. Reminds me of
Like the quarterback.
not the secret gay one.
Terry Bradshaw?
Nope, the other not secret gay one.
Not Troy
Peyton
Aikman.
Manning.
Peyton Manning. And who was the secret gay one?
Troy Aikman.
Just, all right, you know what? That's fine. Dwight D. Eisenhower's farewell speech, by the way, is the greatest presidential speech of all time.
It really
warns about everything that actually happened. So you do wonder, maybe
He
extraterrestrial
knew
influence.
exactly what fucking. I just punched Kissel in the arm.
I don't know why. I did feel it.
He warned against the military-industrial complex,
Right
and
away.
if you want to know more about that, watch the documentary Fog of War,
Yes.
which is fantastic.
But a part of remembering, so Dwight D. Eisenhower was a general, right? So a part of what generals do and the way they lead, and they said that what made him really effective is he was very good at delegating responsibility. He would form committees of people he trusted, and when they gave him an answer of what to do, he would go go solve this problem. They would figure it out. He'd come, he would activate it, and he made sure that he surrounded himself what he believed with are trustworthy people that would help make the whole system run really smoothly.
Are you describing a president with like good leadership skills?
Yes.
Because I don't. I've never experienced one
But
of
the
those.
problem is that he over leadershiped himself into the NWO. Like he made this happen by essentially handing the keys to guess who?
Nelson Rockefeller.
Oh my God! I'm getting the meat sweats.
Yeah, he knew he had to do something about the alien business, but he knew going public or
Because he's
even
just like,
congressional.
because there's aliens popping everywhere.
Yeah.
He's used to it. He's like, I just got done with the Krauts. I just learned that you can't trust an Italian. And now I'm here with zip zapping fucking biggity bongs everywhere.
Now, this is somewhat understandable given that the Rockefellers helped to put Ike in office, but Eisenhower's decision to involve one of the wealthiest families in the world, along with involving the Council on Foreign Relations, which Eisenhower was a member of, proved to be a fatal decision.
Now, remember when we say stuff like Council on Foreign Relations and trilateral commissions and all these things, this is just dudes in a room that our government just gives money to.
Yes.
And they just sit and come up with answers to questions that are all like not in factoring humans as a part of the problem. You know what I mean? Like lives. They just sit and they say stuff being like,
Numbers.
well, if we just get rid of 350,000 of them, then we'll have our solution right there.
There's enough chocolate for everyone. Yeah, it's just people who helped him out and they got a job.
Yeah. So Eisenhower and Rockefeller together formulated a group that would work as a kind of alien task supervision secret structure, as Bill Cooper called it. And within a year, that structure would emerge as Majesty 12.
Okay,
Now-
interesting.
Yes, now
'Cause I've heard
Majesty
Majestic 12.
It's all over the place. And Bill Cooper technically does change the name 3 or 4 times. He calls it Majority 12, he calls it Majestic 12, he calls it Majesty 12. And it, like Donald Trump being president, every single time he says something, even if it's different, that's the new name of it.
Okay.
That's now the name of it.
I guess so.
But you remember, it did not start as Majesty 12. It started as a thing called the Planning Coordination Group, and then eventually turned into a thing called the Special Group, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound so good.
Just because it's just circle paper. That was for a while. They were using circle paper. Everyone has those big crayons.
Why did we decide on square paper?
And they all sat in chairs, those bouncy chairs.
Oh my goodness! Then you're getting exercise well. You said.
And then it became Majesty 12.
Okay.
Now, within 10 years, Majesty's 12 would have the power to murder presidents. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
Hey,
fucking dog meat. Why are you doing this to our
goodness
listeners?
gracious.
So later on in 1953, we Americans started tracking huge objects moving through space towards Earth. Turns out these objects were spaceships. So Project Plato was created to put us in contact with them. And the aliens contained within those spaceships were the Greys.
Honestly, Project Plato with the special group does sound like
It is fun.
It sounds like a special kindergarten.
It's just how you do if a bunch of senators got remember the movie regarding Henry when the lawyer gets shot in the head and then he becomes a member of the special group. It's like you got a bunch of senators now are a member of the special group and you're like, no, this is really important, guys. It's Project Plato.
That's right. They're all like Cameron Diaz's brother in the movie Something About Mary, which I just rewatched.
It's very good. But, Project Plato realized that you could talk to them using binary code. So it's in there, and actually there was 3 visitations. The first visitations were Nordics. There were aliens that looked like us. The second group was a group of aliens for some reason that we now deal with, large nose grays that they talk about
Like
quite
a
a bit.
bonobo?
Now, if I remember correctly, the Nordics that showed up, that's when Valiant Thor showed up?
Yes, he was in there, but Valiant Thor is a Venusian.
Yes. No, I know, but he was just hitching a ride.
He was there.
right.
He was hanging around.
So Valiant Thor is there. He's all naked because he wears an invisible
And
outfit.
he wore
Transparent outfit.
clothes underneath the transparent
Well, what's the
outfit.
point of that?
Because he was trying to be normal. He desperately wanted to be American. He
Oh,
came,
I
he's like,
see.
I come to America thinking this is where a Venusian can really make. I want to make headphones. I'm making the best
a great
headphones in the world.
Yeah.
Now, after a quick chat with the Greys, it was decided that the Greys would leave a hostage with us until they could return with a treaty to solidify relations and negotiate in exchange for advanced technology between America and the Etherians, as they were called.
They called themselves that possibly could have been a lie. They said that they were from Betelgeuse, but Bill Cooper
Betelgeuse?
says he does not believe.
Beetlejuice.
No, don't say their names.
Oh!
I've seen The Exorcist a million times, and it keeps getting funnier.
But what now? Serious question. What technology did we have that the aliens would want?
We'll get into it. The technology, my friend, was our bodies. We're
Listen
about to
to
get
us.
into it.
Listen to us.
Well, then they would love me.
But Bill Cooper says again he thinks that they were lying about where they were from because they may have actually been from Mars.
Yeah, either been from Mars or been from inside the Earth.
Yeah.
But then why'd they fly?
Just listen. Just be a good man.
No, I
for
am
a
listening.
second.
I am listening.
Instead of taking
I
the
have
time
dealt
to
with-
talk.
I'm not taking time to talk.
Technically, he is listening. He's listening. He's asking questions.
Yes.
He's being curious.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be defensive.
I understand.
Now, at the same time that these aliens were orbiting the equator, a different race of humanoid aliens called the Ashtar Command landed at an Air Force base in Florida. These are the space hippies. They said that we should not trust the other race as they were only in the game to use us. And by
Sounds
the
like
way,
the space hippies might be paranoid.
Yeah. I don't know who did it. Maybe it was on that space ganja. That's fun.
and by the way, the landing in the desert of the Greys, you know what that was turned into?
What?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Also fed to Steven Spielberg from the same exact consultant.
Yes, which is different than just Encounters of the Third Kind. It's much more awkward. Yeah. Close encounters.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's a breakup offense.
You're standing quite close to me.
Yeah, it's very Seinfeld.
Well, the space hippies said that we shouldn't trust the Greys as they were only in the game to use us, and the space hippies wanted to negotiate as well, but their conditions proved to be untenable as they demanded we completely dismantle all of our nuclear weapons in exchange for quote-unquote spiritual development.
They were Russians. They were Russians.
No, the Russians are actually working in conjunction with us.
Yeah, we're working with them because the Russians they're saying the same shit to the Russians, saying, "Oh no, we're only working with you." Basically, we're talking to the Russians, realizing the aliens are telling them that they're only working with them, and the aliens are telling us they're only working with us. They're lying to everybody.
Yeah.
So is this where like Start 1, Start 2 comes? Strategic Arms Reductions Treaty?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I like your logic, but actually what ended up happening
Just
is
trying to find any kind of thing I could understand.
once a year, 2 nuclear submarines dock with each other underneath a polar ice cap, and in that meeting, the Ruskies were given their script.
They get
for
their
the
script
year.
to play because they're the villains, right? And they dock like 2 cocks inside of each other.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that thing. Like,
Right.
it's tip inside tip.
Right, I see.
And they would meet at
they
the
could-
center of the tips.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, The space hippies said that only when we become fully spiritually developed by their standards would we receive their technology, as they believe that we would only use new advanced technology to further destroy ourselves, which, considering what we've done with the internet technology we were eventually given by the Ethereans, probably would have been the right move. We weren't ready for all this yet.
No, of course not. We could not have handled their spaceships yet. Well, we tried, didn't we? Didn't we, dog?
I don't think we can handle them right now.
Absolutely not. Now, we, of course, said no to the space hippies, which isn't the craziest thing in the world, honestly, because if all this is true, and that's one big honking goddamn if, then I'd imagine Eisenhower was scared shitless by all these aliens suddenly showing up all at once.
And you have to remember this is right after we used the atomic bomb. And I was looking at Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. I believe it was called End of Days. I believe it was the End Days. And it was about the world right after we dropped the atomic bomb. And what he was saying, like, really, I mean, like, the U.S. at this point, we had the most powerful weapon to us in the galaxy. And that was a big chip. We are not ready to let that go. We're not ready. That's a big negotiating tactic that we always had. And so they held on to that for a long time, because there was a hot second right before we decided to say we have to stop nuclear proliferation. There was a second where they were like, we blow up Moscow, we blow up Beijing. There was a whole plan where it's just like, we just wipe out all of our enemies right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, and so imagine that. So you're having a real meeting that's
like a
very
fun
tense.
that's like a super fun war games meeting too. Just like, let's see what happens if we blow up just any part of the world.
Think about that. So one meeting's having a very legit, very tense meeting about the Russians, the Chinese, and we're going to blow them all up using atomic weapons. And then while that's happening, 2 submarines are underneath the Arctic fucking glaciers, just sitting there being like, those fucking idiots wasting their time. They're slapping each other, blowing each other's girlfriends, just having a great time. You know what I mean? Like, just enjoying each other in the submarine.
That sounds fun.
And so we went with the Ethereans. Now, if you'll remember from our Valiant Thor episodes, we already talked about the deal Eisenhower made with the aliens, specifically with a diplomat called His Omnipotent Highness Krill. And that's spelled Krll.
A little pretentious. A little pretentious.
According to, it's 3 L's.
Excuse me, 3L.
Krill.
Wow. This is an obscene amount of L's.
And because American soldiers could not handle the title Omnipotent Highness, they would call him satirically his official hostage.
Now, the deal was that in exchange for advanced alien technology, the aliens would be allowed to periodically abduct humans on a limited basis so that they could perform medical experiments and monitor our development. The reason behind that was that the DNA structure of the aliens was breaking down. They couldn't reproduce anymore. So they figured by studying a race that was alien to them, humans, they could figure out a way to get back to reproducing, because it was kind of a children of midden type of scenario.
It's like what Maude did to the Big Lebowski when she had him go get to the medical doctor there and get the checkup on the old testicles.
He's a good doctor.
He's
and thorough.
Very thorough.
And
Very thorough.
So
But
she could procreate.
also, if there's one thing humans are good at, and they talked about this as a point, this is not just me being Henry Zabrowski. They knew if humans are good at one thing, they're good at fucking.
Yeah.
They were like, humans fuck. We like juicing them. They are attracted to humans, which is very interesting. That's a part of it too. We make them super horny. Look at our live bodies. Can you imagine? But it's differently, like horny.
But the thing is about all this is that it was promised that the experiments would be completely harmless, and the experimentees would be returned to the exact spot where they were found with their memories wiped, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you won't be shattered by that psychologically at all.
And in addition, to make sure we knew everything was on the up and up, the aliens would provide Majesty 12 with a list of all the abductees on what I assume to be a quarterly report. Now, we would also construct underground bases where the humans and aliens could work together, like we talked about in our Dulce episodes. And we also built a top secret facility out in the desert for the testing of experimental alien aircraft, codenamed Area 51.
Now, this is where the money comes in. NSA was using this as so they were hiding all the money. They were the ones that they used the NSA as the excuse to put all this black op budget money in there. The president at the time, the idea was that the system would go from then on. The president would have no idea how these systems worked or what they were doing.
Who we got now? We got Nixon or we got LBJ in
Right
there?
now, we're still in Eisenhower.
We're still on
We're
This
still
is
in
when-
Eisenhower.
This is them setting up the system. What would happen now is that they basically, under the auspices of we're building places for the president to hide in cases of emergency, we're building these gigantic underground structures. We know we're using them for the working on alien-human technology hybrids, right? And also genetic experiments and all this bullshit. And a part of what is so weird, but we're telling future presidents, no, we're building golf courses.
Underground golf courses.
Now, in other words, Bill Cooper's secret government conspiracy includes damn near every alien conspiracy there is.
Good. It's the best one.
And
And
we're
we're
like
just
hundreds here?
Oh, we're talking dozens at the very least.
Dozens.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the legitimate alien conspiracy.
The big, meaty, fat ones. We just don't understand. This is just a field day. Every other sentence is another research hole.
Yeah, and we're just getting started.
All right.
And speaking of which, let's really get into Majesty 12, erroneously called Majestic 12 by those not in the know.
One poor suspender-wielding UFO expert specifically.
Yes.
Now, Majesty 12 actually had 19 members. There was Nelson Rockefeller, naturally, a few of Ike's cabinet members, J. Edgar Hoover.
Ooh, interesting.
6 guys from the Council on Foreign Relations called the Wise Men, and 6 dudes from the Jason Group.
Don't even Jason. It's capital letters.
Yeah, Jason, all in capitals.
Is it an acronym or is it just the Jason Group?
No, I don't think so.
No, it comes from Jason and the Golden Fleece.
Yes.
That's where the idea is that it's always been an Illuminati thing. We're going to talk about this right now, so.
Now, the Jason Group, who I actually never heard of before Bill Cooper, was a secret society of scientists formed during the Manhattan Project, which was the operation that gave us the atomic bomb. And the Jason Society actually sounds a hell of a lot like the comic book The Manhattan Projects, which gives us another pop culture reference point. Manhattan Projects, if you've never read it, it's fucking fantastic. It's the best comic book to come out in the last 10 years.
But also,
There it
apparently,
is.
the Jason Society either was formed then or it's always been around. And actually, technically, what it was is because it's always been around, it was a member of the Order of the Quest. Order of the Quest is a level of the Illuminati, which is the top tier. Jason Society was on the same level as Order of the Nine. And then it's who's their boss?
Double top tiers.
Always.
Look at that.
Now, you may ask, if it's called Majesty 12, why are there 19 members?
Why are you asking stupid questions?
If it's Majesty 12, why are there 19 members? That's what I would like to ask. And technically, I just did.
Well, the first rule of Majesty 12 is that no decision can go forward unless at least 12 members vote yes.
It's like grand jury duty.
Actually, it is, very much so.
Interesting.
Is that really how grand jury duty works?
Yeah, there's like 19 to 22 people, and 12 have to agree to indict, which is why the entire system is completely corrupt, and it's a absolute bullshit procedural
It's
event.
also why Majesty 12 could be real.
And those decisions that were decided on by at least 12 were carried out as the majority 12 directives. So just 2 years into the 1953 Human-Alien Plato Treaty, as it was called, it was becoming clear that the Etherians were not holding up their end of the bargain. Now, we were getting plenty of technology, but we were starting to find the mutilated remains of both animals and humans all across the country.
Yep. It increased. And also, what I love is this. The aliens were not sending in their paperwork. And that sounds really weird. It seems like weird that like this far, far advanced culture would show up and it all sit in a room with all of our fanciest generals and scientists and all looking up there and they're like, so now, Etherians, we're going to sign this piece of paper and we're all going to agree to do this, right? And they're like, yeah. Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's not like I walk through a wall to come in here. It's not like I traveled from Betelgeuse to be here. Are you lying about Betelgeuse? No.
I love it. Get the paperwork in.
Yeah, these guys, the Majesty 12, it's like they're asking the aliens to submit like 1099s.
Because it's government.
Well, you need it. Honestly,
Yeah, it's government bureaucracy.
The aliens must have just really hated big government. At the end of it, it's just like, the American people, they are up their own ass with this
The
bureaucracy
Illuminati
crap.
is a very democratic idea.
What tech were we getting at this point? People had TVs, I guess.
Well, the type of tech that we're getting, they actually rolled out over the next 50 or so years. computers,
Oh,
like the
I
text that we
see.
got from it, like Wi-Fi, the internet,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. Supposedly, despite all of the evidence to the contrary that humans created all that stuff, supposedly the aliens gave that stuff to us, and all of the people actually working on that stuff were just sort of busy bees. That we gave them the technology because they'd work on it for a while and be like, "Oh, hey, you created the internet! Congratulations!"
They also came up with the
All
idea
right.
of putting cameras inside of the refrigerator, so that you don't have to open the door. You just press the button on the panel on the front of the refrigerator, and it just shows footage from inside of the refrigerator.
Well, what?
It saves coldness.
Is that a thing? Yes.
Yeah,
That's the dumbest damn thing I ever heard
When
in my
I went
life.
refrigerator shopping, I became lost in options.
I thought it
Because
was...
in Los Angeles, you have to buy your own refrigerator. It's not like in New York. You have to provide one
Right.
for yourself. And I started being like, well, I want the cheapest one possible. And then I started looking at the elite, like platinum
No
level
kidding.
refrigerators. You don't even have to open the door.
Yeah, smart fridges.
I could set it from my phone. I could watch footage from inside my refrigerator, longingly look at ketchup while I'm just on the train.
As if the movie Sausage Party is real. Are you expecting an interaction between the mustard
Well,
and
I
the ketchup?
tell you what, if they do come alive, there's going to be a bit of a sausage holocaust in my home because I'm not having talking food in my fucking house.
No, you can't have it. I mean, it's your house. You're paying rent there.
So when we finally confronted the aliens about all this stuff, they said, "All right, you got us. We've been harvesting glandular secretions for years, and sometimes things go wrong, but it's necessary for our survival as the harmless experience weren't really doing much for
But
us."
my big question is, so you're allowed to work on a need-to-know basis. Aliens work on a need-to-know basis, too. And you didn't technically need to know what we were doing to the Whitley Streepers of the world.
No, I guess not.
Now, armed with this information, we started to dig a little deeper into the alien story. If they were lying to us about this, what else were they lying about?
Oh, my goodness.
And just how long had the aliens been coming here anyway?
And I tell you what, the lock screen on an alien cell phone's really difficult to get through, so you can't look at their texts.
Now, we discovered through crack research, mostly in the Vatican, that aliens have been manipulating us for centuries through religion, witchcraft, and the occult. And that includes the Book of Revelation.
Apparently, the Pope has a box filled with secret prophecies. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope it is.
Shoebox
But I
or
hope it's
something?
stuff like the Pope could just go and be like, on Tuesday, I will purchase a pastrami sandwich. And puts it in, and then on Tuesday, he's like, the prophecy has come to pass.
Well, you just got to get a pastrami sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when we confronted the aliens about this, they said, "Yeah, you got us again."
So they're really up front. When we do confront
When we
them,
do
they
confront
do
them,
fess
they're
up
like,
pretty
"Yeah,
quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
They also told us that they had traveled forward in time and had seen that these events, at least in the current timeline, were sure to come to pass.
But what it said is that what they found in the Vatican prophecies is that the Earth was going to explode anyway. That it basically our treatment of the environment and our use of weapons was going to kill us no matter what.
Yeah,
Well, now,
and-
isn't that molten lava in the center of the earth going to get real hot one of these days? That's what I was reading.
Well, I mean, there can be
I was
actually,
reading that.
like there are volcanic events, catastrophic volcanic events could very well be in our future. These volcanoes could actually erupt at any moment. They could happen now.
When it
They could happen
happens,
now, right now.
when it happens, can we call it the global hot pocket event?
Ooh, yeah, we can.
We're not going to be alive to call it the global hot. Well,
Good. You can call it
we
whatever
will
you wanna
be-
call it.
We can joke about it for like 2 weeks, and then we're all just going to kind of suffocate.
All right.
Yeah. Man, hot pockets are hot though.
They are.
What's wrong with them in there? It's ridiculous.
Well, using technology borrowed from the aliens and working in conjunction, again, with the Soviet Union, us Americans created Project Rainbow, traveled to the future, and also confirmed that this prophecy was true.
And that sounds familiar. That's from the Philadelphia experiment as well.
Into the future.
I don't know, how far did they travel?
20 leagues. I remember that Obama was a
thing.
part of it.
Well, Obama traveled to Mars.
Well, he had to.
When the hell did
And that
Obama
was-
travel to Mars?
that
you,
was-
didn't pay, you don't remember Philadelphia experiment?
Yeah, that was Project Pegasus.
Project Pegasus.
Yeah, that wasn't. Project
Okay.
Rainbow and Project Pegasus were kind of running
Next to
like
each other.
they were
Concurrent, okay.
concurrent next to each other, but they were two. I mean, they were talking.
They were blabbing.
Yeah,
too.
they
They
were
were in
I
different
see.
conference rooms.
Okay,
That's
I
how
see.
it goes. All
So
of these
maybe
things
in
are
the
different.
urinals or something, they would cross paths.
You wonder why it's so hard to get a conference room booked at your office? It's because the Illuminati has come in there and they have booked it because they have meetings logged.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what were they to do then, armed with this information? Well, Eisenhower tapped the boys from the Jason Society,
Okay.
and they came up with 3 plans known as Alternative 1, 2, and 3. Alternative 1 was to blast holes in the stratosphere using nuclear weapons so all the heat and pollution and bad stuff could escape into space.
I like that one. I like that one.
No, I don't think it's a good idea, Eisenhower. No.
I think that's a great idea.
And then after that, we would change as a global culture from an exploitative species into one of cooperations. And after that was deemed to be a really fucking stupid idea.
What are you talking about?
It's a really dumb
How do you get the smoke out of your house? A chimney. To make a huge chimney on the South Pole. Get it out of here.
The Earth is not a log cabin. If you pop a hole in the stratosphere, I seem to think we're more like a balloon. And then everything would go out the hole. And they said that's the reason why we maybe have a hole in the ozone layers because they tried to do it.
Well, Bill Cooper said that they may have tried alternative one, but that's just speculation.
That's speculation. I like alternative one.
That's speculation, of course. Well, alternative two posited that they could build a huge network of underground cities and tunnels where the privileged few would survive while the rest of us burned on the surface, kind of like the Fallout games.
Cool.
Oh, yes. Or Dennis Leary and his motley crew in Demolition Man.
No, not really.
Okay.
They were just poor.
I don't know. They were eating rats. They were eating good.
Shut down.
How am I getting shut down?
Yeah, because they just put the poor people down in the sewers. That's what Demolition Man was.
Yeah, but if you think about it, they're also elite in their own special way.
They had that fun restaurant, though. I remember that nice restaurant.
Rat restaurant.
Yeah, they had the rat restaurant, and they had that bitchin' car.
Yes.
Yeah, they were doing okay.
I tell you what, I'm going to need more than a couple of shells to clean up my mess half the time.
You are disgusting.
Now, alternative 2 is a little more plausible, but then there's alternative 3. Alternative 3 proposed that we would use the alien technology we'd already been given to establish colonies in space. Oh. Bill Cooper said at the time of his writing in 1991, there had been a moon colony named Adam that had been around since the 50s.
Cool.
Now here's where things get interesting. How do we fund all of this bullshit?
Where's the money going to come from?
We got to start taxing plastic bags.
That's very
5
smart.
cents a pop.
Very, very smart.
How do we pay for moon bases and underground bases and experimental aircraft facilities without Congress knowing?
Congress is a bunch of fucking busybodies.
Well, they control the purse.
Well, it had been decided, judging from the reactions of the 4 civilians present at the signing of the 1953 Alien-Human Plato Treaty, that the public would not be able to handle the reality of aliens on Earth.
They had a dude, right? Did you read that letter that the guy wrote after the meeting with the aliens?
No.
And he was like, my life is over.
I did read
My
that.
world is shook to its very core. I cannot see an alien ever again. Like, this guy was fucked up.
And he was like a reporter, right?
Yeah, he was just fucked. He didn't know what to do.
I understand. Yeah, people cannot handle change very well.
No.
Yeah.
And it followed that if the public could not be told, then Congress couldn't be told either, because they'd have all the debating and voting that would need to be done.
Everybody just.
I would like I would like our congressman or woman to tell us if there was an alien life out
They
there.
totally would, and it's a civilian government.
Exactly.
So these people are coming in and out. They're voted into office, and they're out 2-4 years later. What are they going to do then?
Sometimes, except for these creeps who stick around their entire lives and ruin our fucking government.
All senators do is play the sit-down game with children.
We don't want to get into that.
We don't want to get into that, although it is proving to be very true.
Dennis Hastert.
Well,
Roy Moore.
yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it.
And so to fund all these projects, they needed outside funds, which is where the CIA's habit of justified illegal activities began, specifically their involvement in the illegal drug market.
Now, if you look at this, right, this is where I love fucking Bill Cooper. Is that he ties just enough real things that are motives that you could see. You could see how they thought this out and how logically if the CIA's running shit, right? The CIA and the NSA are the ones that are doing all of it, and they're completely in charge. Because Eisenhower said from the very beginning, the way he governed and the attitude that ran through the whole thing is said, just do it. He's like, because it's a military idea of being like, just tell me when it's done, and then it's done. I don't care what you do, but just show me results.
Delegation of authority.
Yes, and so CIA knew, okay, so we're just going to do it our way. And this is how they've already did it, because we've already seen it. It's Iran-Contra, like all of the Contras. We saw all that kind of shit where it's like, this shit's already happened. So maybe, just maybe, some of that drug money went to aliens.
The drug money went to the aliens. All right.
No, the CIA couldn't have done it alone, at least at first. They got their first foothold with the help of future president and member of the Council on Foreign Relations, George H.W. Bush.
David Copperfield.
Oh, man. Herbert Walker. All right. And, of
Walker.
course, he was the head of the CIA at this point, correct?
He wasn't the head of the CIA
Not yet.
Before he was the head of the CIA, he was CEO of Zapata Oil.
Yes.
And he allowed the CIA to use the Zapata Oil offshore drilling rigs as launching pads to smuggle illegal drugs, marijuana, cocaine, and heroin, into the country.
Man, that's one groovy fucking drilling rig, dude.
Cool drilling
You
rig.
want to get positioned on that drilling rig, man. Just fucking weed everywhere, just like pop. It's like
God.
Richard Speck's jail cell in there.
Oh, my.
Now, America had been using these drugs long before the CIA got involved. But once the CIA did get involved, that's when things truly reached epidemic proportions. And this was all under the direction of MJ-12, Majesty 12.
Oh.
Now, you may be thinking, guys, we only landed on the moon in 1969.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, man, we only landed on the moon in 1969.
Right?
Yeah,
How do we have moon bases a full 8 years before that?
right.
Well, the answer is that the space program, at least the Rube space program, NASA, Henry,
Never a straight answer.
was the secret government's second source of funding.
Yep.
And for that matter, the whole Cold War was nothing more than a charade, so both sides could funnel money into secret alien projects that we both worked on in conjunction with each other.
Because a part of
right.
it, what's supposed to be, is that we all got to get on the same page. Can't trust the aliens. We got to figure out how to trust each other.
Yep.
And at the same time, the Cold War allows us to keep all our economies going because basically now we're on an arms-based economy. We're doing all this money's pumping in through the military anyway, and now we got to send our boys to space without anybody knowing about it. And that means we got to make super quiet space machines.
We still spend less on our, on average GDP. We only spend 3.3% of our GDP on military. Isn't that something? $600 billion. But the Russians were spending a lot more, is what I was saying.
We got a nerd alert.
Oh my God! Oh, you don't even know how to-
nerd alert.
You don't know how to do the nerd alert.
Well, you know, even the moon base, that was a joint alien US-USSR base and had been for years. The only time the Ruskies weren't involved was a brief 2-year period when they were banned for trying to gain control of the base, an event that cost 66 people their lives.
Which we covered in our secret space program episode.
Did we cover that one, or was I thought that was a reptilian-based?
No. I'm pretty sure it's that.
The
That's,
Ruskies?
Yeah.
They could have been Ruskies, or the time in that story, it might have been the reptilians, and then it switches as to who's aligned with who, and or if maybe the Ruskies are actually members of the reptilian race, or they are puppeted by the reptilian race, or the fact that reptilians weren't even there in the first place, and they weren't even in space, they were living on Earth. There's a whole lot of different
I
stories.
mean, if you want to talk about a world leader who looks
Wow.
like a reptilian, I mean, you can't go wrong with Nikita Khrushchev.
Sure.
Yep.
Look at that man.
Yeah.
Now, John F. Kennedy.
I mean, Gorbachev literally looked like a map.
Well, now it's time to bring JFK into the mix.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, when he showed up being president, what did he want?
Catholic. He wanted the Pope to rule.
He wanted the Pope
what
to
I was
take
told.
over. He wanted pussy hairs up to his eyelids.
He got
He
that.
was in there to swill whiskey, hang out with Marilyn Monroe, look at his wife's hats, drive limos around. He didn't want to deal with the super secret space system.
John F. Kennedy didn't know about any of this, and he was actually a pawn himself for the first year or two. Cuban Missile Crisis, all for show. We were never in any real danger. But sometime in 1963, Kennedy stumbled upon the truth. The aliens, the drug running, everything. He contacted Majesty 12 and told him, first, knock off all that drug running.
You gotta knock
imagine?
it off. I'm sitting here, and you mean to tell me there's coal coming to this country that's not coming to the White House? You bring it to me first. I gotta take. What is the quality of this coke? I need to take a look at it because also he's getting juiced up with
Oh,
meth
my
shots.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he's all
yeah.
about methamphetamines, but he's doing it pharmaceutically. He's doing it the legal way.
Well, he's getting
Right.
pep shots.
Yeah,
They're like pep shots. And
yeah,
they're
those
like,
good old B12 shots. Give me some bennies.
give me some bennies, anything to make me a better president. Also, you mean to tell me these aliens got jerk-off machines that are doing these professionally and I am not allowed to sample them? I am the most jerk-offable president that's ever been.
Yeah.
Well, JFK also told Majesty 12 that he fully intended to come clean to the whole world about all our alien wheeling and dealing that we've been doing for decades. And so it was decided by Majesty 12 that JFK had to go.
They pulled a Dave Coulier and said, cut it out.
Oh my goodness.
Now, what Bill Cooper proposes is that it was not Lee Harvey Oswald who took the shot. The bangs you hear were just decoy shots fired by a secret. Hell, Oswald, he wasn't even in the book depository.
Nope.
Where was he?
Hanging out in the alley. He was there. But,
he was.
But he was at work that day, you know?
Oh, okay.
He worked at the book depository, but he was out in the alleyway because there is a picture that if you zoom into that picture, there is a guy in the alleyway that kind of, sort of, maybe, probably looks like Oswald.
And in no way is-
hello. Is this the application for the job for, it says, Patsy?
Yeah.
What is American Patsy?
You know, the greatest thing is it doesn't even matter that you know that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
take
you
job.
You got the job?
I'll
All
take
right.
job.
You
I'm
got
all
the-
fucked up.
That's great.
So,
Your
I'm
name is
perfect with it.
Saran, correct?
Well, no.
All right.
The person who actually fired the fatal shot was William Greer,
Okay.
the Secret Service agent who was driving JFK's limo.
The driver.
The driver.
Now, I never heard this driver theory before.
Using an experimental CIA-created gas-powered gun, Greer turned around and shot Kennedy in the head with an exploding pellet of shellfish toxin.
Yep. I love it. I mean, honestly, I have no problem with it. It's just you don't see him really turn around in the video. Though.
You actually do. It is that you actually
Isn't it
do.
post shot though.
Watch it again.
Yeah, if you look at
go home
if you
tonight.
look at the Zapruder film,
yeah.
you do see him.
Okay.
Even though the Zapruder film is pretty grainy, you do see him turn around.
Okay.
This is my question.
I'm just so pissed they didn't release the full documents this year.
I
But
know.
anyway, that's a whole other
Do
story.
you have a projector at home?
No, I don't have
The only because technically you're only legally allowed to watch the Zapruder film on a projector.
like microfiche.
Yes,
Do I have to,
it has to be projected onto a
load
sheet.
your projector up, yeah.
And you
like,
have
like
to
John
be
Wayne,
very-
like John Wayne Gacy showing a stag film.
Yes.
So it has to be sort of like one of those images that you would stare at so you could see a sailboat or something like that. So it has to be really grainy so you can just kind of make it up in your head.
Yes, you have to put it up on the wall. You have to be smoking a half-lit cigar, and you have to break up with Brooke. You have to be alone.
You have like emotionally alone.
Emotionally,
yeah. Okay.
And had Kennedy's brain not disappeared, then we would have proof of this exploding pellet of shellfish toxin.
Okay.
Alternatively, Cooper and others also posit that Greer just turned around and shot Kennedy with the Plano 45. And that's why Jackie Kennedy was seen crawling to the back of the limo. It was not to collect her husband's brains. It was to get away from Greer.
I always want to get away from a limo driver.
Yeah. A horrible Uber ride.
And after this, presidents tended to stay in line.
Yeah.
There wasn't any real trouble between Majesty 12 and the executive branch until Nixon got in trouble with Watergate. See, Majesty 12, they were afraid that an impeachment trial might lead back to them, as Nixon was 100% on board with all things alien and had been for years. And so, the first military coup in the history of the United States was carried out. The Joint Chief of Staff sent out a communique to all the U.S. Armed Forces commanders that said, upon receipt of this message, you will no longer carry out any orders from the White House. Acknowledge receipt.
You mean to tell me we don't have a boss anymore?
No boss.
Hey, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
And within 5 days,
All the water coolers are immediately Kool-Aid. It's like nothing but fun and good times.
Pizzas everywhere.
actually, Ben, you'll like this. Some other people say that they got, some other armed forces commanders say that in their version of the communique, it said you will no longer carry out any orders from Top Hat.
There it is. That's a fun show here on the LPN network. Abe Lincoln's Top Hat.
Filled with disinformation.
A lot of truth.
No, within 5 days, Nixon had announced his resignation from the office of the presidency of the United States.
Look at that.
So, of course, if Majesty 12 was willing to kill presidents and force presidents out to keep their secrets, then it followed that other mechanisms had to be put in place to keep some of the little fish in line. And this is where the campaign of disinformation began.
All right.
What they did was leak half-truths, close enough to the whole truth that people could make enough connections to make it plausible and, more importantly, satisfying.
And also then easily disposable. Because then what you do is you fill it all with tiny little flaws that as soon as you bring experts in to examine all of the minutia of all the documents, it's easily debunked.
So basically, you let people have enough, you give them enough rope to hang themselves, basically.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that is why most people know Majesty 12 better by its other name, Majestic 12.
Yes.
And who else was the main disinformation agent other than our old friend of Roswell fame, or as he insists on calling it, Corona? That's right, I'm talking about Stanton Friedman.
Just another walk through the grocery store.
Does that sound like a trip to the grocery store
to you? Stanton Friedman was the proponent of the Majestic 12 theory, which is a group of photographed documents that were shipped to a filmmaker that approached Stanton Friedman to help verify that these were real CIA, U.S. government documents that listed a group called MJ12 or Majestic 12 by name that would eventually go unnamed, that featured 12 guys that were also on the list that Bill Cooper's named.
I thought there was 19 of them.
No, this is why it's...
Where's the other 7 guys?
This is why it's I get this is why it's disinformation, because it has a half truth to it, because there is still 12 in the name, but it doesn't give you the whole truth that there are 19 people in the whole thing. It just gives you the 12, and that makes you think. And I actually remember us talking about this on our Roswell episode, and Ben, I believe you brought this up, that with 12 there is no majority vote.
There's no majority. Would make it very difficult. Now, it's true. So with two other ufologists, William Moore and Jamie Shindera, Stanton Friedman was trying to put together this and verify these documents. And the problem is that they will forever be known at they're very tricky. They're very tricky to pin down, and it's exactly what the government wanted, because it puts a lot of doubt on the subject, because there's a lot of discrepancies over the typography, what kind of typewriters were used, when those typewriters were available, the way they dated the documents. There's a lot of discrepancies as to how many commas. Did they use a 0 before a single-digit day? All these kind of things that now is all you hear about when you look up Majestic 12. And Stanton Friedman sadly walked into this
punctuation complaints?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
the content is a little bit more significant.
Well, no, it's not necessarily punctuation complaints. It's more about what certain commas and typography looked like on certain typewriters that were not in government usage until certain years.
You have to remember is that in conspiracy theory, the biggest problem is proving shit, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's garbage. But what you have to understand, and so Stanton Friedman tried really hard to pin down its schedules have to line up with the different members that are listed on these meetings. All of the typography and the verbiage and the way they talk to each other has to be just on point for it all to be completely true. So Stanton Friedman can finally come out and say, look how it's true. But if you look at now, I was reading an article about counter-espionage that's happening right now. And they're talking about like the secret dossier that's supposed to have the fucking PP tape. But all these, with Trump, all this bullshit. But they say that there are spies in Russia that have made fake PP tapes with a man who looks like Donald Trump pissing over a bunch of prostitutes, and they disseminate these tapes that are out there. But the problem is that you have all of these spies have to sit in a conference room watching videos of men peeing on people and having to come up with the exact being like, this is definitely proof.
Yeah, honestly, the Clintons financed that entire thing. Interesting day for the actors. That is also maybe the #1 show just in Russia.
We should talk to Anthony Antamanik and ask him if he was cast in any one of those fake PP tapes.
He's too good. The President Show, wonderful show.
But I'm just saying it's very difficult to proof. Is such a slippery thing.
It really is. And one of those like little clerical errors is what Bill Cooper points to as to why he believes that Majestic 12 is a fraud. He says that the executive order that created Majestic 12 was numbered 92447, 92,447. Problem with that is Truman's executive orders were only in the 9,000s, because executive orders are numbered consecutively from president to president to president. For example, even Trump's most recent executive order is only in the 13,000s. It's going to be quite a long time before we get up to the 92s.
I don't think we're going to get to him.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't the only ufologists. Or excuse me, the only ufologists.
Ufologists.
Burns my biscuit.
They're not the only ufologists on the government payroll. Remember Philip Klass, the dickhead from our Fire in the Sky episode?
Yes.
CIA agent.
Yep.
Whitley Strieber, CIA agent.
Yep.
Bud Hopkins, CIA agent.
That hurts me.
I know
that
it
one
does.
hurts me.
I know you love Bud Hopkins.
That one makes me really upset.
What's wrong with being in the CIA?
Because you are the disinformation agent.
Yeah.
You're clouding
What if
the
you're
fucking
telling the
street.
truth?
And it isn't just individuals. It's the organizations as well. Remember NICAP, a.k.a. the National Investigative Committee on Aerial Phenomena?
That's cool.
They were infiltrated and destroyed from the inside by CIA agents.
Remember, this is all from Bill Cooper's perspective, though. So at this point, he has made an enemy of the entire community.
Yeah.
He is striking out against every single person that he believes that are coming. And so, because Bill Cooper was fucking for real, right? Alex Jones does his fucking broadcast from a mansion in the Los Angeles of Texas, Austin, Texas.
Yes.
He did an entire broadcast from his hot tub.
It was last year's Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah, Easter. It was
Was
the
it
Easter
Easter? Oh my
episode.
God, it's incredible.
Bill Cooper lived in an unmarked street with him and his wife and his precious baby who he loved. When he met other ufologists, there was a story where they were trying to get him for some UFO conference. He's like, I'll meet you. I got to verify you first before we talk about this. Bill Cooper picked him up in this middle desert town at a diner because they didn't want him to know exactly the location of his house. The guy gets in the car to open the passenger seat door. There's a gun sitting on the passenger seat that Bill Cooper just brought with him. And he's like, this is the shit that I used to equalize things. He's like pointing a gun at him, gesturing at it, driving with it in his hands.
He seems like a Mick Thompson. He's just like
He's the best.
batshit crazy, fully armed.
Actually, that is a fucking
In the
great
woods.
way to describe
That's why I love him.
He is a character.
Yeah, and I did get an email. It was either an email or a tweet from a listener that said that he used to be on like an email list with Bill Cooper in the late 90s, and he disagreed with Bill Cooper on something, and Bill Cooper threatened to personally find him and shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Interesting.
Escalate the
I
situation.
guess so, yeah.
Well, NICAP Bill Cooper says, infiltrated, destroyed by the CIA. He also says, and I'm sorry to say this, that MUFON was also infiltrated and destroyed. Apparently, according to Cooper, MUFON is full of CIA agents who purposely, quote unquote, lose hundreds of samples of physical evidence sent to MUFON each year. For example, do you remember Gulf Breeze?
Yeah.
Our man Ed Walters running around in his underwear? All that blue goo?
Uh-huh.
Well, some of that blue goo was collected. And some of that blue goo was sent to MUFON for analysis.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, but
I'm
so-
hearing the allegations. I'm hearing and
Yeah.
listening.
Oh, Henry, I think you've dropped something here on the floor. Let me just grab it. Oh, it's a badge. It says CIA. No. Yeah, very interesting.
No, they
Is
test
it
for
possible?
weed.
And we're going to address this. What I want to read right now is a passage from Behold a Pale Horse that specifically calls out MUFON, and I'd like our very own VIP MUFON investigator Henry Zabrowski to give a rebuttal.
I'm listening to your
Disinfo
concerns.
agent?
I'm listening to your concerns.
Please.
Here's what Bill Cooper wrote. The members of MUFON are told what to believe and what not to believe. The members do not seem to know that they're being controlled. The members of the MUFON Board of Directors and the members of the Advisory Board of Consultants are, for the most part, supported by the government in the form of salaries, grants, or retirement checks.
Okay.
You have had a lot more money lately.
So first thing, I will say this. First of all, number one, I believe that this is a direct response to several ufologists calling Bill Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse. Their review of it was, technically the headline read, Behold a Pale Horse, more like Behold a Pail of Horse Shit, which is true.
That was Stanton Freeman.
Yeah, it was Stanton Freeman.
Like, behold a pail of horseshit.
You know that chapped his ass
Yes, it did.
so hard.
Made him really upset.
Yeah, okay,
Because he
all
set
right.
himself up.
Okay, so he's angered with the people of MUFON.
I think he's angry in general.
Well, I mean, you have to address these allegations.
I
These are
do
very
believe that there are
serious.
problems in the past. I will say the living situations of most of these UFO investigators is sub-ideal. A lot of times they're living in, I don't know how to put it, they're living in a car. They're living in a car. These people are not the most mobile. But I will say, me,
They
as a
seem extremely mobile.
They are very mobile. They're only mobile. They're never stationary.
But not much money, but not much gas money. That's
Not
your
money
problem.
going in and out. They keep a lot of receipts. I will say, whatever happened in the past is in the past. I apologize for the crimes to move on in the past. I'm going to go ahead and do that for them.
Great.
I'm going to say now from going forward, me as a VIP investigator of MUFON, which I will eventually earn the actual title to, I will Total transparency is the rule of the law. I will document every single thing that I do. You will see my process. I tell no one what to believe. The newest newsletter, MUFON, specifically said be open to belief. So I think they're starting to change their ways.
All right.
It's mostly user submitted in terms of like all the details. They have now a full online archive, which back in the Usenet days they did not have. So now I'm going to change it. I'm the one. I'm the guy from the inside. If Kissel's going to
Sounds
be
like
a
a
fucking
little
politician,
Bill Clinton over here, but we never got the documents, did we?
they
from
wouldn't
Mr.
let me on
Clinton?
Airfuck One. They said I ruined the vibe.
Okay. Interesting.
So at the end of the day, or as of 1991 at least, the Council on Foreign Relations and the Bilderberg Group and the Trilateral Commission,
Which comes from the Trilateral Commission's name comes from the trilateral insignia, which is on the flag that the aliens have on their ships.
Okay.
along with Majesty 12, control all the alien technology given to us by the Etherians and use that technology and all the clandestine operations that had to be done to keep it going to essentially take over the government. But the one thing I like about Bill Cooper is at the end of the secret government chapter, he fully admits that this could all be total bullshit, that he could be fed disinformation, but he still manages to tie it into a conspiracy. This is what he wrote.
There is always the possibility that I was used, that the whole alien scenario is the greatest hoax in history designed to create an alien enemy from outer space in order to expedite the formation of a one-world government.
So none of it's real.
Well, what they say is this, is that what it could possibly be is that all of this was an NWO storyline that was sold, that in order to make the NWO actually finally happen is that using hologram technology, they will fake an alien invasion to bring all of the countries together.
They
Yeah,
also
like
gave
it's
us,
pretty much they stole it from Watchmen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tupac as well has been. He has been known to perform as a hologram.
Busta Rhymes was a huge proponent of Behold the Pale Horse, gave a copy to CeeLo.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he
CeeLo,
actually
who
did.
farted himself awake on a plane.
Yes.
So isn't that interesting?
Ford himself woke on a plane to the possibilities.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, I mean, Bill Cooper in the 90s, sad to say, he recanted all of this.
he did.
All the alien stuff. Yeah, he admitted in the 90s, like
This
he
is the equivalent of the what was it? The television show Dallas. All just being in a snow globe. I feel a little bit.
That's St. Elsewhere.
Saying elsewhere.
Saying
I
elsewhere,
feel a
yes.
little bit. I feel a little deflated.
But Dallas was also Patrick Duffy's dream.
It was a dream.
Yes,
yeah,
it's true. It's
so
true,
it's,
yes.
so it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's but he did recant. He eventually came upon he decided that all of this was disinformation. But it's like we were talking about with the Majestic 12 disinformation campaign. All throughout this episode, we've been telling a lot of half-truths. Like, for example, like the biggest and most verifiable one is while the CIA may not have run drugs to fund alien technology projects, they were definitely running drugs to fund other projects. I mean, they
huge.
flooded our inner cities with crack, and they used that money to fund other black projects. The CIA
prison
has,
industrial complex.
Oh, and guess
prison
what? And
industrial
it's gone.
complex.
And you don't
Eisenhower
think it
warned us
has
about
not gone further? That at this point in time, that they're so bloated, especially since there's so much domestic chaos. There's so much domestic chaos. You don't think the NSA and the CIA right now are doing whatever the fuck it is they want to
Oh,
do?
dude, they're crushing it. They have more power than ever before.
Yeah, they were just
the
given-
so-called deep state that Donald Trump was against is doing better than ever.
yeah, and he's given him the power. Didn't they?
gave it to him.
Yeah,
they
didn't he
have
get?
the war powers officially. They no longer have to check with the president.
Yeah.
It's
when
the
they want
secret
to.
government.
They can use
it's very
drones
public, though.
whenever they want.
It is not
And
very-
they're going to use it here in this country, not to get too crazy. L.A., Los Angeles just approved drones to be used, even though 6-1 the voters said they didn't want to have it in the emails that were sent. It wasn't even up for a
Our
vote.
fucking
And it is
cell
a
phones.
matter of time before they arm those drones, but that's a whole other story.
Our cell phones, we already talked about how Facebook was essentially used to win the election. All of the metadata they already have. We did the Fahrenheit 451 thing. We already did it. We gave them the keys.
Yeah, it's
we
done.
didn't have to. They didn't have to show up with
Billy
rifles in the
Cooper.
streets because they already got us.
Yeah, Facebook,
All right.
our actual phones, Facebook uses geotag because you know when people talk about it's like, oh, I was talking about this thing the other day, and it all, and the advertisements started turning up. They use geotagging to track where we're going, and they know which locations we go to, and they use that to target ads at us. They already know where we are.
That
at all
explains
times.
why I get a lot of ham ads.
A lot of ham.
Just a lot of ham.
You wake up screaming ham. No, but it's true. It's because they are like floating ads. They're not listening to us directly, but they can pick up keywords in our emails and the way we talk, and then there are floating ads that are set up like in fucking Minority Report, and it's like you walk into them, and then they get pinged on your phone, and they show up on all your different social medias and all the different things over and over again. They already got us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you just gotta be aware of it.
Yeah.
Don't pay your taxes.
You have to pay your taxes. You will go to prison.
Yeah, conspiracies do exist. There are a ton of conspiracies right now, and most of them are evil and most of them are harmful. It's just that they're actually boring. They're nowhere near as good of a story as Bill Cooper makes it out to be.
Yep.
Bill Cooper's just a super entertainer. He's better than Alex Jones, and he always was. And what I will say, too, right now, it's like, because all the kind of sex scandals that are happening in Hollywood and politics, how the way it's all coming together, I have a weird ultra theory that now what it is, it's conspiracy theory and stuff like this is more subtle. And that what you have is a bunch of the floating idea of the Illuminati using sex workers and black magic and using all this weird and a lot of sexual assault, stuff like within their power games, when they do, it's almost like the elite of our world, the super rich, have absorbed these lessons subconsciously and are now like making the Illuminati real, even though it's not real.
Yeah, it's life imitates art.
Yes, it's like it's a chicken and egg scenario where it's like they're acting like the Illuminati.
Well, it's chaos magic.
It's happening again and again and again.
These things have been created through our subconscious. We have created these secret societies from believing in the secret society.
They've also been created through gerrymandering, which I think is something we really have to think about as well.
Yeah. Well, that's more congressional gridlock.
Gridlock. All right. Well, Bill Cooper. I mean, a part of me does make. I get a little bit angry because it has led to a dumbing down of our the people of the world.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, because Bill Cooper was the smart one in the conspiracy theory, and from here it goes only down. It seems, but
that's the problem with conspiracy thought. There are very, very, very real conspiracies out there, and this one, like I said, it's full of half truths. It's full of little things like there, like Nelson Rockefeller, the Rockefeller family did get Eisenhower elected.
There's a lot of that. There's all the super rich have been controlling things for a really long time, but that's just how the world works. But it's not about. This is the problem. It's like the internet. When I went to Epcot as a little kid, the internet meant I was supposed to be able to talk to a cute Asian girl, and we were all supposed to make Coke together, and it's supposed to be the Coca-Cola. The internet was supposed to bring us all together in theory, right? But instead, it's just developed into a million niches that won't communicate with each other.
Well,
where
the internet
conspiracy
theory is just another indication of how human beings are actually how we
think.
Interact.
Yeah, but in conspiracy theory, what it should have done was teach us to question research and deal with it. It should have done that, but instead what it does is close people off. Where to me, it's like if you could learn more to read Behold a Pale Horse, and it's not taking each word for fucking the complete total truth. It's understanding that because there's so many ways to flip a scenario on either side, you should start thinking about putting more perspectives into your life. Read conservative side of Twitter. Read newspapers from other countries and how they talk about us. Formulate a broader spectrum of perspectives so that you can see the truth is somewhere hazily in the middle.
All right, well, let's wrap up. Bill Cooper, part 2, unbelievable stuff. Very interesting guy.
Yeah,
love him.
My goodness,
love him
so
much.
Let's see here. I want to thank everyone who came out to the Bell House. We want to thank everyone who came out to the Bell House for the New York City Comedy Festival. That was such an incredible night. It was so much
good
fun
to be home and perform for everybody here. It was great. It's been such a long time.
It was awesome. I want to thank everyone who came out to vote on Tuesday. I got 5,100 votes.
Yeah.
So there's 5,000 people who think I would be a great Brooklyn Borough president, and that was incredible. And so meeting everyone has been so awesome. 2% of Brooklyn. I own it.
Well, 1.8.
Round up. I was told I'm allowed to round up. 1.81% of Brooklyn. I own it. So thank you all so much for participating. It was an awesome experience. And let's see what else we want to do.
We got Omaha coming next
Omaha
week.
coming up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We got a second show added to Omaha. So
I think that's still available for tickets.
Tickets
right?
are still on sale. Yeah, there's not that many left, but
Okay.
we've still got tickets on sale for Omaha. So definitely get those soon because it's the trend has been when we do 2 shows, usually they both sell out. So definitely get your tickets for that.
And it's our last show of this tour.
Yeah.
So just come check us out. Watch
What a
us
year.
be weary and hammered.
It's
It'll
going to
great.
be incredible. It's going to. I can't believe it, guys.
Yeah.
We're on to our last show of the year. We've had such a crazy year, and I just want to say, meeting everyone on these live shows has just been such an awesome experience.
Yeah.
So thank you all who have come out, and again, come out to Omaha, and thanks everyone who participates and provides support with Patreon.
Yes, thank you very much. If you guys want to contribute to our Patreon, you go to patreon.com/lastpodcast on the left. Thank you so much to everybody who gave and who still gives every month. We couldn't tell you guys how much it means to us.
you.
It means so much to us. And follow us on Twitter at Henry Loves You, at Marcus Parks, at Ben Kissel.
I
Follow
came
us-
back to Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come
Yeah, horrible time to come back to Twitter.
It's bad out there.
That's all right.
Follow us on Instagram at Dr. Fantasty, at Marcus Parks, at Ben Kissel, the number
That's
1,
it.
and follow us on all the bullshits at LP on the left.
That's it, and we got a lot of fun news coming up here, and I mean fun.
Yeah.
When I say fun, I mean fun news.
And it's not just kind of fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's just
Yeah.
total fun.
Full fun.
Full fun, not kind of fun. LPN Network, Ablingen's Top Hat, everything political. Page 7. We got a lot of things we're figuring out at the network. It's going to be a great 2018.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to grow and all be together.
Take the address numbers off your house.
Well, that is. I
Throw
don't
your
think
cell
that's
phone
good.
into the ocean.
Then they
just
can't
looking-
listen to the show.
I don't know what to say.
We technically
what
need
to say.
everyone to have a smartphone.
No one can be on the grid anymore.
That is true. That we have been faced with quite a dilemma here.
One
Yes,
day I
we're in a
will be
pickle.
off
You know,
the grid.
just get off of Facebook. How's about that? Let's
it is.
all agree to get off of Facebook.
And you know what we should do? We should start recording the shows on vinyl.
Yeah,
we can
super
send those
like
out.
Led Zeppelin.
But how are they going to order?
That
Mailing.
I'll be on the street corner of White and 8th.
So here's what it is. We'll record all of our shows onto vinyl. We'll put ads in local newspapers
There it
to
is.
let you know that we're coming to your town to do a live show, and you got to come to the live show
And also-
to listen to buy our episode.
Henry will be in Union Square screaming for an hour every Thursday.
I
Be sure to
swear
catch it.
to God, I will leave the grid at some point. I will be gone. I will be gone and
Can't
out.
wait. All right, everyone.
Hail Satan.
Hail yourselves.
El Gain.
Tell me.
Magustalations.
You don't pay your taxes.
You have to pay your taxes.
You have to.
He shat him his pants.
Very nicely done, Nick.
Shat him.
And with that, we're off.
Oh, we're off already?
Mhm. Shat him.
Off
Nick was
here.
calling me Shatum
The
Because
club.
you shat your pants.
Because you shat yourself.
in the past tense.
Shard him.
Adam's going to shave lines into his eyebrows, everybody.
I didn't say that.
It's a law firm. Shard him, shit him, and bathroom.
That's good.
Yeah.
Shart him, shit him in bathroom. So you shart, that's for if you shart, you shit, or anything that happens in the bathroom.
Shit show. Welcome to the shit show.
Welcome to the shit show. I'm gay. Welcome to the shit show. My dick is small.
show. Oh, my ass is filled with shit.
Please get this shit out my ass by any
can't
means
wait to-
necessary.
I can't wait to shit on
Malcolm
you. Fill the audience with shit.
From my asshole. The shit comes from my asshole. And I want to
Just spraying shit all over the audience.
In my
From
ass.
Yeah, Guns and fucking Roses.
Guns and fucking roses, brother.
Remember, rock and roll used to fucking mean something, man. Rock and roll.
1993.
Rock and roll used
Use
to
your
fucking,
illusion.
fucking rock.
From my asshole.
God, what a pathetic figure to even remotely visit in my mind.
We don't have to say my name.
From my penis.
Yeah,
Cum comes from
to
my
even
penis.
think about that guy
I think about him more often than
once a year.
I
Once a
would-
year,
yeah.
I'm like, let's see how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, you go in on Facebook.
And then it's like, he'll do an interview with like some arts quarterly that only covers like, it's like hobbies and crafts, tri-monthly.
Yeah,
it's
Of
just some
the,
guy who
of the
writes it out at
Hudson Valley,
Starbucks.
Yeah.
and they're like, we finally got a website, and the editor is like a 67-year-old woman with like 3 adult sons who are all lawyers,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then she just does scrapbooking or whatever. And
That's
she's like,
right.
I'm going to start a local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
We're interviewing, him.
Him.
A local
And
comedian.
it's just it's always just so sad.
I think it's cool to love rock and roll, dude. In 2019,
And DIY.
to talk about being a rock and roll guy.
Yeah,
I love
as an
throwing
identity.
on,
That's
I love
cool.
throwing on the Scorpions and just rocking out.
Uh-huh.
Here I am, getting sucked off by a man.
Yeah, they're a gay band.
Nah, they
They're
rule, dude.
German.
Do
though.
you know where you are? No, wait, that's the Jungle Guys.
Yeah,
Guns
the
N'
Jungle
Roses.
Guys.
The Jungle
That was
Boys.
their original name.
From the jungle, inside of the jungle, we
Yeah,
are
we call our
having lots
groupies
of
the Jungle
fun.
Bunnies.
No, they don't
No,
call them
they-
that.
That's
they-
just-
no
They
one's
do
ever
not call
called
them
The
that.
Guns N'
Guns
Roses.
N' Roses that.
No,
Axl
no.
Rose here, and we call.
I don't think
our-
Slash would like that very much.
Yeah, well,
I
I call
don't-
him his.
I don't
my
think
original
Slash's
name was-
mother would like that.
My original name is Black/White.
Well, he is, no?
Black/Jewish. Yeah,
He's mixed.
yeah. You should know that. Come on, the one of the only cool guys in Judaism.
Well, all of the Black/Jewish are cool.
Yeah, but
Lenny
Barack
Kravitz,
Obama.
Barack Obama,
Clinton.
Drake,
Drake's,
Maya Rudolph.
Drake's not as cool as Slash.
Jeffrey
He's
Epstein.
cool.
Jeffrey Epstein.
He was half black from the waist down, baby.
Rapist.
No,
What
no,
have you
Nick
done?
said the second pass.
That's what you mean.
You said it.
No,
Adam,
I
and
meant he
it's
had a large
racist,
penis.
and I don't accept it.
No, I just meant it in the way that people say
That's
it in middle
fucked up,
school that they
Adam.
have large penis. No,
Adam,
I
that's
didn't.
fucked up.
I apologize to the community.
That is fucked up.
I
that you
didn't
would
mean to
that.
say it that way, and I didn't.
You
mean
should
to
take a leave of
inspire.
absence.
Okay.
Take a 2-minute leave of
All
absence from
right.
the podcast.
I'll see you guys. I'm gonna
Okay.
think about things.
I'm putting the phone. I'm doing
You're
a
out of the family.
timer.
You're out of this thing.
This thing of ours, podcasting. Dude, should we start making people in podcasting?
You see, there's 4 of us. We all had HIV. We called it this thing of ours. And it's a big secret. Nobody knew. We'd pass it around the girls in North Jersey without telling them. The QuSa no cells. Because
Ah, fuck. All right, you can talk again, Adam.
All right. I thought you were timing it,
But you don't get any part of the QuSa no cells.
no,
riff.
I'm gonna sit out that one. It looks fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. To
Looked
laugh
like you
at
guys
that.
were having fun.
We were having a blast thinking about Italian guys with AIDS
yeah.
who got it.
Yeah,
This
I've
thing of
got
ours.
what they call opportunistic diseases. Yeah, I got some of the capos.
I got a couple.
Caposi sock. Caposi sock. Yeah, let me get some of the caposi sock.
What are some other ones?
Caposi sarcoma sounds like an Italian. name.
Caposi.
Let me get some
Hey.
of the capagoose.
Sarcomanella.
Gabagoose. Let me get the gabagoose sacamich. Yeah,
Goddamn.
I got scabs all over my face.
Yeah, my face is fucked up. No, this ain't sauce.
Nah.
No,
Yeah.
this ain't gravy.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
why
that
they call
movie
me
Philadelphia, but
Scarface.
it's Brooklyn. You know, it's even better, baby. It's fucking Bensonhurst.
I told them, let me be Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that actually would be a funny movie about like a mafia guy in the 70s in Bensonhurst who gets HIV
Yes.
and he's struggling and he's like, and then it just culminates with him doing a big speech. Yeah, I got HIV. So what? And he's like addressing all the mob guys, and they're like tearing up. He's like, my blood is still the blood of this family or whatever. And they're all like, tearing up, realizing that they've like judged this man for no reason. And then they just immediately kill him.
Yeah.
Freeze him, cut up. Like,
have
hey,
to
keep the
kill
gloves on when you cut his
Put
legs
the
up.
fucking gloves on.
Make sure you don't get any of that gay shit all over the fucking the basement of the clubhouse.
If any gay blood is fucking
I
dripped,
swear to
we
God.
gotta
I
burn
swear
the
to
whole
God, if
fucking
that
place
shit,
down.
if that fucking gay shit ends up in a fucking sauce, I'm gonna vomit until the lady president. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It is pretty messed up that in The Sopranos, when Vito was gay, it was an immediate death sentence. There was no
even though he was a good earner,
it was the only thing that saved him. Would have saved him potentially.
he was gonna go do meth.
being a good
push
earner.
meth in Atlantic City,
You should have done that.
and then they Tony was kind of thinking about it, but then he did disgusting things.
He just did unnatural things.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is worse things than any other mobster had ever done.
I mean, that's got to be the best episode when he goes to Vermont for like
New Hampshire, yeah.
That is the funniest shit in the
It's
entire
so
world.
good
When
when
he
he's
try-
working.
he
when
tries to get
a
it
real
out.
Swiping
job.
his brow. It's been 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's the most accurate portrayal of Italians on screen I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Them trying to do an honest day's living and being gay
Mm-hmm.
is what I mean.
Johnny Cakes.
To be honest, I would go for some Johnny cakes.
Was it sweet pancakes?
I would love. I think they're just pancakes.
They're pancakes, but I think they're made with a little bit of cornmeal.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's correct.
Because there's a lot, there's corn cakes, there's hoe cakes, there's Johnny cakes, there's pancakes, there's like a
lot of different
lot
kind
of
of
different,
cakes.
yeah. Any type of like meal or flour you make, you can turn into a cake.
Into a flat cake.
I would
A
love. I would
flapjack.
love a couple flapjacks right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll tell
I
you
wanna
what's,
go to a
what's
diner.
real good is you get the larger. I mean, you probably do it with the regular blender mix, but you take some nacho cheese Doritos and blend them into a fine powder.
I'm very
and Mix it
interested.
with just egg
Okay.
and a little bit of like water and some flour in there, and then you make Doritos pancakes.
Doritos Locos Crepes.
Yeah, Doritos.
Doritos.
Los Locos de Santos de Doritos Dominguez y Concepcion. Just Benicio
My man's
del
out here
Toro.
making Dorito crepes, dude.
Benicio del Toro looking like he's overdosing on naps, being like, "They say it's the most dangerous breakfast anyone's ever made." One time, a man in Colombia tried to make it, and he had to kill himself and his whole family.
Damn, dude, when did you first make Doritos crepes, dude?
I don't know, a couple years ago. There's a
Respect.
lot. It was when I got the Vitamix. I was going wild. I was going wild with batters.
I know. That's a wild move. 'cause
Well, one
it's-
time when Nick
it's both broke as shit, but it also it's spiritually broke, but it requires a Vitamix.
Mm.
So it caught you at the right time in your life.
Well, it's like when you get a deep fryer, which I've
yeah.
never personally had, but I had friends that had deep fryers, and you just go,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
We're gonna try everything.
Uh-huh.
And then once you get to the end of the day, you realize that the basics were the answer.
That was the good shit. Wings, potatoes.
all the fucking other shit you can put in, it sucks.
It sucks dick,
It's
dude.
not good.
Your own onion ring to get, but that's it.
Oreos are pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what's also good, Adam?
Shutting up. Being
I wasn't
quiet.
gonna say it.
But now that you bring it up,
I
Adam,
remember.
now that you bring it up, hold
I
on,
was gonna
Adam.
say
be
I was gonna
told.
say latkes and pay respect to the Jewish culture.
Well, then thank you.
but now that you say
But
it,
now you reminded me that you hold a grudge.
I don't
Because I
hold
may have told you
grudges.
because I may have told you to shut up once or twice. You're gonna treat me.
that would be so awesome if that's your recollection of this podcast. Is maybe one or two times I was a little rude to you,
Mhm.
but you're gonna hold that against me
Now
I don't hold any
for
grudges.
years.
for years.
One or two
All
instances.
I gotta hear about when I was having a bad day.
Just quietly seething on the inside, not saying anything, resenting Nick.
Fuck. Damn. Whoa.
Did you boys do anything for Halloween?
I just smelled something weird.
What is it? The cat's shit?
No, is it possible I got pure dust in my nose?
Possible, yeah.
Oh,
Do you have like floating dust or
something just fucked my whole shit up, dude.
Yeah.
I'm also nursing this fucking tooth
Do you
injury.
need to throw up?
Yeah.
Here, clear the air with the torch.
Yeah. Yeah, just hit a little butane
Hold on.
torch.
I need to see something really small and disgusting. Adam,
Damn,
pull your
dude.
penis out. Maybe that'll
All
help you
right.
throw up.
Yeah. So, okay, 1 second.
Hold on.
Yo,
Go
we
ahead.
should get a dab rig. Wow. Now that you got a butane
Why are you
torch,
afraid
we
of
should
that?
start
It's-
smoking
it's
dabs.
literally
The
8
sound.
feet away from
The
you.
sound was scary.
Do it, dude.
It's a scary
Yeah,
sound.
I sort of threatening.
I
Adam
don't like it.
with knives, and now I got fire.
Hell yeah, dude. This is real podcasting.
Don't
dude.
post me. I don't want people to see how fucked up my apartment is right now.
I won't.
It's a disaster.
Mm.
I won't post you, brother.
Thank you.
But we are playing with fire, folks, out here.
Yeah,
Nick's
maybe I
got
should
a-
do the torch into the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would both work and not do any.
Yeah. It would be something
well,
good
we
to
need
listen
the sound
to,
effect.
and B,
Yeah.
not ruin one of the only pieces of equipment we have.
Yeah.
That'd be fine, dude. We'd just give you Adam's mic for the rest of the app.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Is this guy back?
What?
Didn't you already do retarded Good Morning
I think
Vietnam?
he did Good Morning Being Gay,
I did Good Morning Being Gay.
if I'm not mistaken. So there's a difference.
There's a yeah.
No,
There's
just a movie about like an optimistic like
Let's
McDonald's
squeeze all the
drive-through
juice out of a
guy,
lemon.
like a Down syndrome guy with the McDonald's headset on. He's like, "Good morning, Vietnam," and they're like, "Can I place my order?"
This is Parkville, Maryland.
Yeah, can I place my order? Can I get a double check? Good morning, Vietnam. The manager's like, I'm sorry, he just saw Good Morning Vietnam.
It's his favorite movie.
He doesn't understand the difference between the radio and a drive-through. It's partially complicated by the fact that we showed him the movie Radio, so now he thinks he's a radio.
There's a lot going on.
There's
folks.
he saw 2 movies this weekend, and we're gonna have to fire him.
Yeah, we will. The long and the short of it, we have already fired
We've
him.
already found a different person with Down syndrome to replace him.
But
Yeah.
he is continuing to work for free.
We're gonna let him keep the headset.
Yeah, we found a Mexican immigrant who also has Down syndrome that can work for even more free. He's actually paying us $9 an hour to work here.
Fuck. I did not do anything to answer your question, Adam, for Halloween. I was on edibles.
Oh yeah.
Dealing with my.
They didn't
my
give you
tooth
any good
injury.
pills.
No, bro, and they literally fucking drilled a hole into my mouth and put a fucking metal screw in that.
No
bitch.
opioids. No nothing.
Opioids. No nothing. Too many motherfuckers been
Abusing
snorting
it.
them, dude.
What about you would make them think that you'd abuse
Nothing,
any
dude.
substances?
First of all, I can do drugs, easy money, and stop whenever I want. It's food I have an issue with, but opioids, brother, I'll take those shits. The bottle will end. I'll be sad. Well, of course, I'll be sad to see my friends go,
It's crazy that
but I won't look for more.
they
When I
just
got
won't
shingles, I got
prescribe
Vicodin.
people, like medicine that helps because of like a crisis.
Yeah.
That, it's like, no, I need the pills.
Yeah, I'm not the fucking dumbass fucking hillbilly that's on heroin now.
Yeah, but also like you should just like err on the side of caution and just give people the pill. Like, oh yeah, this guy ripped his tooth out so he could get Oxycontin.
Yeah.
But,
I've
like,
been
maybe
toothless for
just-
2 years.
Maybe let him have the Oxycontin.
Yeah. Right. We need to reward hard work.
Yeah.
That's why we pay more per fucking guy per patient in our freaking
How about
system.
Yeah, that's right,
rewarding
Bernie.
Todd work.
That's yep.
Yeah.
Them too.
Can you say tard?
Can I?
Because they always say don't use the R word.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
but
well,
that's
okay. Then I'm going to say tard.
I'm
that's a
guessing you still can't
diminutive,
say it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, it's like a diminutive.
That would be like saying part
Well,
of
it's like
the
you can't
N-word.
say the N word. But yeah, but
You
if
can't say the
GER,
first three.
You can say GER.
But you can't say the first three.
Of course you can't because that's
well,
still
that
an
answers
N-word.
your question.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Yes.
because he's
Oh, it's not
saying
the
'cause
R
the
word.
first
It's
letter.
no longer the R
I don't
Well,
word.
then
think
it
the
becomes
first
the
letter
T
is the
word.
problem.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think you can call them rets. I think you can say ret.
When the founding fathers wrote certain things in the Constitution, thus the N word will be enjoyed by men of all colors. That the R word is the word to use set to expire circa 1997, to which we will begin. This is all in the Constitution.
It's in the Constitution.
No, I have not read the Constitution,
No.
but have they? I don't think they even know how to read. So why don't we? I'm going to say Todd.
Let me say it, folks.
Yeah.
Can I say it, please?
Mm-hmm.
And then once we clear this up, we will get to the rape. Then we will get to the rest of the case.
I'm building my case here. It's a slow case built on rhetoric and
We will get to the tax evasion case.
we will
to
get
the
to
white collar crime.
tax
As
evasion.
soon as we clear me being able to say,
I put on a bit of that Ken Burns Civil War documentary again with that Shelby Foote guy.
I don't remember that.
No, he's like I don't know, just like I don't know, maybe he's a
Historian?
writer or something. I think he's a writer. But he's the Southern guy that's like, well, Lee was Lee, but he like tells stories about like the personalities or affects of like these Civil War characters. but then he's like genuinely charmed by them. And it's like, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's like, Lee would always take his supper on the porch. And it's like, why are you laughing?
Shut
right now?
up.
You
He's
fucking
some
dork.
asshole in a book.
Yeah.
You don't know this fucking
You don't know
guy.
this
Can you
guy.
imagine him reading a book and smiling?
Yeah,
What
fuck
a fucking
you.
nerd.
Who is he? I'm gonna fuck him up.
I think he's dead.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm
Shelby
glad.
Foot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to go piss on his grave.
Yeah,
Would they-
Lincoln would actually.
How about Shelby Foot meet Stavros penis?
Mary Todd would always get
You know what I'm
upset
saying?
because
It's my cock,
You
bro.
got him there, baby.
Lincoln was known for sodomizing the neighborhood boys. Well, it was actually, he would trick them in his house. When they'd come over, he'd cut off the balls and cook them down into succotash. A little bit of corn and child's balls, and he'd put it in his mouth, and it was said that his mouth was filled with the balls of 7 children when he gave his famous Gettysburg Address. And that's why he said 420 years ago, because if he had just said 100, whatever the fucking number is, the balls would have fallen
fallen out of his mouth.
the balls would have fallen out of his mouth. And that's where we get the expression.
makes sense.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
is
less
to
words.
be balls deep was originally in the Civil War because that was at the point where Lincoln had the balls so deep in his throat that the Union had no other choice but to continue fucking the South.
Mm-hmm. Ken Burns just nodding. Ken Burns taking notes
Yeah.
and nodding.
Just set to a
That's right.
dumbass slideshow.
Wow, that's very informative.
Yeah. Well, it was actually General Grant would he liked little girls at the time, which was not necessarily unusual, but the style was growing a giant mustache and molesting boys, as the White House did. The
Style of the times.
You have to understand, this was before baseball. This was a nation in search of itself. Amidst a great war for its own identity, trying to figure out a national pastime, which many assumed would be then and forever molesting young boys, cutting the balls off.
Cooking them down into various
Throw
various
'em into your-
vegetable-based
into your
dishes.
Johnny Cakes, which was a predecessor to obviously the famous Doritos San Locos, invented in the Mexican-American War. It was said that Pancho Villa created the craziest breakfast that ever lived.
Pancho Villa himself
Yeah,
ground down Doritos.
Sam Houston during the Mexican-American War was known for cutting his own balls.
He would cut off a little square of his nut skin.
They had a plan during the Battle of San Jacinto. The Mexican army took a siesta in the middle of the day, and Sam Houston went down. He sucked the balls of every one of those Mexican soldiers, and his first lieutenant said to him, "Well, sir, why would you do such a thing?" And he said, "It's the last thing that they would expect." And that was sort of the idiosyncratic view of battle that Sam Houston had.
Nah, Houston soldiers would go on to get slaughtered in that fight.
At the Alamo.
But those Mexican soldiers were never the same, knowing they had
A lot of people
engaged in
struggle to
homosexuality.
understand the significance of the Alamo back in those days, but you have to. They say the Alamo is such an important battle. For what reasons you have to put yourself in the mindset of a Texaner living in 1860, and that is the Alamo was the only movie theater where they did not allow black people. You weren't allowed to talk in that theater.
You had to turn your phone off.
You had to turn your phone off or they'd kick you.
But you could order nachos.
For that movie theater to be taken over by Mexicans.
Interesting. Well, why don't we circle back to all the battle stuff?
Yeah.
Just Ken Burns, like, I don't know about that one. Gordon, what's his name?
Shelby.
Shelby Foot.
Shelby, why don't we stick to the battle stuff? And I'm not sure they had phone. Anyway, there's a lot wrong with what you just said, but
Yeah, it's just the way he's just privately, the way he laughs to him, and Lincoln even, it's like, God
shut
damn.
up. It's like shit. You guys ever like Shakespeare nerds in high school that would like laugh at they would research the part that was supposed to be funny, I guess, in Shakespeare times. Was to be like, you old, the goat's horn.
Doth which twixt eyes
Yeah,
summer's dream,
Yeah.
twice on the noggin and 3 by sail. Sir, I find you to be moot in substance and privilege.
Right. And then some kid doing that. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
You don't even know what that means, bro.
No one. That's why it's also in regular English next. to
Yeah.
it. It's like all those, and it's funny because all those same people grow up to be. They're like, if you have to explain satire, it's not satire.
right.
Ever hear of Jonathan Swift?
Mm-hmm.
That's comedy for you.
Ever heard
I
of-
didn't think that was very funny what he was talking about.
Who's Jonathan Swift?
Killing kids, wasn't it?
It was like
a modest
it
proposal.
was like John Wick back in the
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And
was it a
that sounds
decent
cool.
proposal?
in Victorian Britain.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an indecent.
Indecent
It's
proposal?
an indecent proposal.
Yeah.
He pays
He paid
Al
yeah,
Pacino
he
to
pays,
fuck his
he-
kids.
Yeah,
to
it's
death.
Andy Garcia, isn't
Oh.
it? Or is it
Yeah.
Al Pacino? And it's not fucking his kids.
No, it's
No, I know. I
it's,
tried
Robert
to-
Redford plays.
I
the
tried to-
millionaire.
Was it
Woody
Michael
Harrelson?
Douglas?
It's Woody Harrelson.
Wait, Scent of a Woman is the one I'm thinking.
No,
of.
Indecent Proposal is
What's Al
fucking
Pacino
Woody
in?
Harrelson and his bitch
And
wife.
Robert Redford.
And Robert Redford is the millionaire.
Yes.
And then he's like, I'm gonna fuck your wife for $1 million. And he's like, all right, honey, we gotta let him do it. It's the only way we'll afford my bottom surgery.
yeah. I remember.
Which I don't. I'm pretty sure that was.
That was the plot. Yeah.
I gotta have a pussy.
Wait.
Cause think about it. When I have a pussy, we can get millions of dollars from twice the millions of dollars.
So this is really a movie. Actually, it's not a tragedy or anything like that. It's about a couple getting their small business off the ground with their first big client.
Yeah, their business of the husband having a pussy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they rent their pussies out for millions.
And
Of
then
Oh,
so
the double the
Woody
pussy.
Harrelson, he's
pussy.
like, he lets the guy fuck his wife, and then he changes his mind at the last minute, and he's like, Deborah, never mind, and he's running after him, but the guy, like Robert
They're in a
Redford's flying away
helicopter.
on. Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, depending. That's the beauty of podcasts. You know, you can listen to it in the shower while you're fucking your wife.
Hell yeah.
You
I
know?
hope everyone's listening to this
That's-
while they're fucking their
That's what me
wives.
and my wife love doing. Is we love having sex in new, interesting places
Yep.
like the shower.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just take the weekend off. We'll get a rental car. We'll park the rental car. Just get the hell out of town, and we'll pull it over and we'll suck and fuck on the side of the road, just like we used to when we were kids. You know, that's how we keep the
Preach.
spice in our
Yep.
relationship.
Preach.
A lot of people worry about, is my relationship spicy enough? How do I get that Latina flavor in my relationship? My wife's getting older now. Her pussy sucks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hate fucking her. My dick is really, it's not as, it's as long as it used to be, but it's really narrow now.
It doesn't fill up.
It's a
that'll
fucking-
happen. That'll
It's,
happen.
yeah, it's gross. My fucking dick is gross, and my wife's pussy is shit. And I tried to fuck the girl I work with, but it failed.
Yeah.
And then I got caught failing trying to fuck my younger coworker.
You couldn't get hard, or what happened?
I don't know.
Just didn't happen, huh?
I think the problem is there's not enough spice
Mm.
in my
you
relationship.
need to get the spice back in. As
So yeah, we fuck in the shower and we listen to Marin. We
Yeah.
put on podcasts.
Oh my god.
We get it. We get
That's
podcasts.
an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
You haven't fucked your wife until you fucked her to Wait, Don't Tell Me. in NPR.
Yeah. My wife is a huge fan of
Cereal.
of cereal.
Yeah.
So I pretend I'm pretending I'm the Muslim kid from
Oh shit.
I'm pretending I'm
that's
the
Do you guys fuck in a Best Buy parking lot?
Is that what happened?
I think. I don't
I
know.
think he
That's-
kills her in the
that's
Best
when-
Buy.
That's when
I
detail
murdered my
remember.
wife.
You killed your
Yeah.
wife?
That's the only way I can come
That
anymore.
will keep it spicy.
Uh-oh.
If you murder your wife, hell yeah.
How do you add a little hot sauce to your relationship? I'm tired of having this mayo
What
ass,
kinda-
crack
what
ass
kind of
white
hot
boy
sauce?
relationship.
Crystal?
I'm
What
trying
kind of
to
hot sauce?
crystal.
Crystal. Boom.
It's a crystal hot
It's
sauce.
made by the same people.
Yeah.
It is.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well,
I
my
love
wife
pouring
and
that
I-
shit on bitches' titties.
Well, my wife and I could only fuck originally to the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song.
Oh, that's funny. Me and my wife only fuck to the music when Larry is suspicious of something.
Mm-hmm.
My Me and my wife, we fuck to the Price is Right sound when you get something wrong. Yeah. The bum 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 bum.
Yeah. But when we were kids, we used to fuck.
Yeah,
to the,
me and my wife. Back when me and my wife were kids, when I met my wife, we were 4 or 5 years old.
Yep.
I tell you, we used to fuck like rabbits.
Yep.
I'd pull her
That's
poodle
when it was
skirt up
good.
back in the old Studebaker Roadster.
Sure.
The year was 1948. I was
You were
6 months
driving?
old. My
Well,
wife was.
She was 4. I don't remember how old I was.
I was
but-
27 years old. My
Yeah.
wife was 4 and a half. I just
A
finished.
couple of kids.
I just finished my senior year at the Westchester Boys School for Preparatory Boys, and my wife was she was a junior in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and back then they called it going steady,
Right.
and what that means is that she wasn't allowed to tell people what was going on.
You hold her down and steadily and fuck
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys something. You've never fucked your wife until you fucked her to the Benny Hill theme song.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Well, that's when your dick you put it in her ass and it comes out of her mouth. To yakety sax. And then you put one of your balls in her ear. And it comes out of her eyelid. It's actually extremely painful for your dick and balls.
But it's a good bit.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
It's a really good bit. I exclusively give my wife the shocker.
Yeah.
That's the
Man,
only way I have sex.
I tried that PlayStation VR the other day, and that shit is crazy. It's like we really are living in the fucking future. I read an article the other day.
Oh, stop.
I read an article the other day that said that scientists created a time crystal.
Oh no,
I don't even know what that is.
dude! Do we
It's
have
like
to find
from,
it and destroy it?
I don't know.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah, they created a time crystal.
What is that?
I guess they shine
Is that like a
lasers.
Zelda thing?
They shine lasers at these particles
That's
to
the
like
ocarina.
induce particle spin. That I don't know. They showed that time could be symmetrical, which is what a crystal is. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even fucking begin to understand that shit, dude.
Yeah, I don't. Nobody does.
What does that even fucking mean when people are like time is fucking? You could like I don't know.
Well,
You can
symmetry
walk
can.
through time
Yeah,
or some
well,
shit?
symmetry.
Yeah, you
symmetry can.
That's true.
Symmetry
That's
can
true.
be expressed mathematically. So, like, when they say that kind of shit, they just mean that, like, numbers add up on a piece of paper.
Right. What the fuck?
So,
does
when,
that
like,
mean?
time, like, space-time being the fourth dimension or whatever, it's just, like, imagine something carried to the fourth power.
Yep.
I don't even.
And then
fucking-
just think about it
imagine it this
numerically
way.
rather
What if
than...
we had a
Imagine it
magical
this way.
knife and you cut some shit in the air, and then you put your hand to the fucking then
In
I
the
could
air.
then I could fucking.
Well,
get
okay.
it.
Imagine it this way:
What?
2 gay men.
Okay. All right. All right.
They
All
both
right.
have
I'm listening.
erections.
Uh-huh.
One of them is like you, uncircumcised.
Okay.
One of them, like me, incredibly circumcised.
Yeah, yeah, very circumcised.
You put
Basically, just has ball skin.
the tips of the dicks together.
Mm-hmm.
You
Am I
take-
docking?
You
Are you
take-
putting your dick in my foreskin?
I don't know what docking is.
You
but
don't know what
take-
docking is?
That's what docking is. You just described docking. You think you're inventing it because you're a fucking idiot. You've never had a
I'm not-
foreskin in your life, dude. You're a fucking poser. I got mine removed as an adult because I wanted to make decisions about my own body, and I chose not to
That
have
happened to
one.
my friend.
You had yours removed like
His
a fucking
parents went to him
coward
at
as an
13.
infant.
All right. Well,
Probably with anesthesia.
I mean, I was doing a bit that
I had
didn't know
mine done at a Pantera concert by Phil Anselmo with his mouth. He chewed my
Was he
foreskin
wearing
off.
a rabbi costume?
Yeah. And he said, now you're a cow man from hell. And that was my bar mitzvah.
That was your bar mitzvah.
I'm sorry, Adam. Now, what do I need to imagine?
Oh
to-
God,
for
I was
time?
just doing a stupid bit. Nick. Is,
Anyway,
you know.
time is fucking. I don't buy any of that fucking shit.
Yeah.
dude.
I also should
can't
warn
time
I should warn the
travel.
listeners, not only is the battery dying in this, don't worry, I got backup batteries.
Mm-hmm.
But we got food coming. So this might cut off abruptly at some point. Consider that the break. We're going to hit you with some sweet, cool tunes from the 1950s. That
Which
was the
one?
decade I grew up in, back when I met my wife.
What was your wife's name?
I don't know, some shit like Trixie or what
Beverly?
fucking dumb. Yeah, Dot. My wife,
Dottie.
Dot. Used to bust down Dot's throat. But back then it was called Going Steady.
coming into someone's mouth is what going steady is.
Yeah. You'd rip her poodle skirt off and hold her down, and she'd say, "My dad's a senator," and I'd say, "My dad's a fucking president," and then I'd do whatever I want. That was called going steady back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like that movie Pleasantville.
It was a simpler time, Pleasantville.
Yeah. Where the soda shop man's gay, isn't that the story? He finds out he's gay and then he has color.
When the color, when he gets
He turns
color.
completely pink.
Yeah, and the wife learns about masturbating. Yeah, what a
was
great
awesome.
movie.
Who else beat off? I think you saw titties in that. I definitely did. Who was in it?
Well, everyone with color was fucking.
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon.
Toby Mac.
Toby Mac was definitely in
Pussy Posse.
And who was
legend?
who was the
Toby
big-
Mac?
And who was the guy? What the
Jeff
fuck is his
D.
name?
Jeff D.
Who was the
Jeff
bitch?
Daniels? Gay? Who becomes gay?
Jeff Daniels was
cool
gay.
and gay. But
Yeah.
who was the main guy who was bad? He's in, I can't believe I can't remember his name.
Willem Dafoe.
No, yeah. He
Who played
comes
the
in-
dad? William H. Macy?
William H. Macy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a fucking bitch ass motherfucker.
Was Ed Harris in that movie?
Wait, was it William H. Macy or that other guy that looks like William H. Macy?
it
That
was
low
William
rent guy.
Who's that guy?
Fuck. I always confuse him with C. Thomas Howell, and it's not C. Thomas Howell. And his name isn't even similar, and they don't look alike. But for whatever reason, their names got swapped in
Because
my
William
head.
H. Because C. Thomas Howell sounds like what a bootleg William H. Macy should be named.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, he's the guy from The
Is
Outsiders.
it John C. Riley?
No, it's not John C. Reilly.
Um,
You would know
is
him
it-
immediately if you saw him.
I think I know who you're talking about. He's
Yeah.
got little gay eyes. You know what I mean?
No, I think that eyes could be a lot of different shapes and a lot of different sizes.
I don't. Yeah, William H. Macy's a bitch ass motherfucker in that movie. His wife, he doesn't fuck his wife good.
His wife jacks off and then becomes
His
color.
wife that was hot.
And then
I
has
think
to
I
put
beat off to
makeup
her beating
on.
off.
She has to put makeup on to still be black and white.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How
and
did
then
she
it
find
rains
black and
one
white?
day, like at a certain pivotal point.
Interesting.
And then he's like, "Oh, this bitch is color."
And isn't the guy like who puts the what happens? Like Toby Maguire goes over or somebody, Reese Witherspoon goes and she's a little slut and sucks off the fucking the football guy or something like that.
Oh,
All right,
that's
the food's
Chinese
here.
food.
Break time.
Woo!
How does it feel to know you're about to die? I'm gonna give you more time than you gave my wife and son. I gotta tell you something! It'll change everything! It wasn't me! It wasn't me! Now you're a good cop. Vernon! Oh, Vernon! Let's try in here.
Okay, and we're
Wait,
back.
hold on.
What do you mean, hold on? We're back.
Did we do the first part?
What first part?
Is that still here?
Yeah, the first.
Yeah, he just can't add to
fucking
the
idiot.
Okay, nothing. We're ready.
Yeah, we had lunch and now we have a guest. Amber's back.
Yeah, we had nighttime lunch.
All
called
right.
dinner.
We had a night. We had lunch.
called
Lunch
dinner.
just means the middle. Anything you're doing, if you stop and eat in the middle, that's fucking lunch, dude.
Yeah, it was the
You should
lunch
get a
of the
dictionary, you
podcast.
fucking retard.
Yeah, that's true.
Got him. Cooked his ass. We
Fry it.
should little bitch ass Adam.
Yeah, didn't you go to school for reading? You know what the fuck lunch means?
I think everyone technically goes to school
I didn't.
for reading.
Nah.
I went to school for sports.
I got through
I went to the finger bombing academy personally.
finger blast.
Bombing. No, we're the bomb technique, not the
I went.
blast.
I went to school.
How do you bomb a
Is that like
pussy?
when you do really bad and the room is just
Yeah.
dead?
No.
Like,
That's
you're
when- no,
fingering
that's when
her
you-
and she
from
just
the
stares
top.
at you
Take a
blankly.
dump. You gotta take a dump in the pussy. That's the bomb in the pussy. Either that or you fill it with spray
man.
paint.
Oh my god! And then you huff it.
Yeah, dog. That's how the fuck
There's
we
actually
get
a
down.
documentary about the Chicano movement in the 1970s to invent pussy bombing.
Stand and deliver.
Yeah, Stand and Deliver is about these. He has to reach the kids. Edward James Olmos.
James. Yeah.
The poster boy of adult acne.
Yeah. His skin is fucked up. It's really like
Eddie
bumpy.
J.O. Yeah.
It looks like a
Eddie
lunar.
J.O.
Eddie J.O., baby.
yeah, that's a great name for him. Yeah, Eddie J.O. I don't fucking know. Wait, so Amber's back.
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm high and trying to order Korean barbecue.
Yeah, we had Chinese from. Did I just mention that?
No,
We just had to delete like 2 minutes
Yeah,
of the
sorry.
second
I
half.
don't think
of the
we'll
That's
ever be
happened
able to.
twice
fault.
tonight.
I don't
No,
think
it's not
we'll be able to
anybody's
come
fault.
back from it.
Anytime it is somebody's fault, it's Adam's fault. It's
Okay.
either that or it's nobody's fault.
Why is this
Blame
dynamic
The Jews.
developing?
I'm not blaming the Jews. I'm
No, it's
blaming a
because
specific
Nick's
person.
trying to
Particular
impress.
And it has nothing to do with his Judaism.
I think it has a
He's
little.
just
to do
prone to
with it.
fucking up the,
What?
the equipment.
Tell me one time
Gear.
that's happened. One.
You leave the door open, the cats
You
leave.
leave the door open.
that's true.
Oh
You're-
my
you're
God.
raised
Got
so
you there,
far.
bitch.
I was raised in a nice household.
He was raised in the
Push the
synagogue.
Fucking door.
A lot of people have been messaging me, asking me, how can we send stuff to the podcast? What kind of free stuff can we send in?
Whatever you got. Fleshlights.
No. And I'll tell
Number
you,
one.
and if you want to send to my apartment,
Maybe chocolate
message
covered
me.
pretzels.
Barbecue.
No, well,
Yeah.
what I want is a
Barbecue.
glass.
Maybe like a Twix bar.
one of those.
Like an ice
First of
cream
all, it's
Twix
not going
bar.
to Stav's place. It's coming
You
here.
can do it to my place. I'll give message me and I'll give you my address and you
That's-
can just give it to me. Actually,
Don't message him.
Please message me.
Don't send him anything. Here's what we're getting: is iced tea container, one of those big glass ones with this
I have a
the spigot at the end.
Ooh,
It's gotta have the.
Oh, with the push.
The spigot's
I want the
good.
spigot.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking pour my iced tea like a slave.
Nick
I
Mullen.
want full service iced tea. I want my white gloves on. I'm gonna spill a drop on my fucking gloves, and I will slit your throat on this porch with my fucking razor.
Okay, hell yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll take one of those.
Oh, we also
I
want.
also want a Vitamix and a PlayStation.
I want a vitamin. You can't copy me, dude.
I want it.
I wanted the
Why?
Vitamix
Why
first.
can't I copy you?
Stop. Are you sure you don't want anything?
I want a Vitamix.
Okay, but
And
All
I
right, well,
want,
here's the
oh,
thing.
you mean
Dave.
Korean
you can't have
barbecue?
any of mine.
I will not have any of yours.
Okay.
I know. I've been doing that.
Get him a
recently.
couple pieces
You're
of
like
cabbage.
the world's
Like a rabbit.
girlfriend.
I know. I'm
Where you're
sorry.
Like, I don't want any, and then you're like, can I have a bite?
Can I
of
just get a
that?"
little bite? Can I get a little fries? I can't help it. I'm a little slutty boy when it comes to food. I did
Yeah.
that to them with the Chinese.
I do that with
Getting
peanut M&Ms,
bougie.
dude. If somebody has peanut M&Ms, I also like to pretend like I've never tried gum. Anytime anyone says gum, I'm like, oh, ooh.
What's an acceptable thing to ask a stranger for that's not a cigarette?
A cigar.
a black and
Do you have
mild.
another cigar?
I used to
You
love
got
doing
it,
that.
Dutch.
Do you have another cigar? I'm trying to quit.
You can. I guess you could ask for gum.
Could you ask a vape guy? Could you just be like, "Yo,
No.
can I bum
No,
some cloud?
Because it's like a.
Can I just get a little cloud off
Suck
you right
some
now?"
cloud. Only
Yeah.
you can't take it off his mouthpiece, but if he
Yeah,
gives
if
it
you
to you
suck
mouth to
the
mouth,
cloud, if you just suck in that cloud.
Could you go up to like a Wall Street banker guy ripping cloud on the side of
Yeah.
the street, and could you just be like, "Yo, shoddy, shoddy,
yeah, you can.
Yeah, what you
Yo,
need to
shoddy,
do, you get like a
yo,
tube.
shoddy, be that vape."
You get like a
Real
small
quick.
a small gauge tube, something that's like maybe the width of like a noisemaker, and then someone's chucking cloud. You just suck up their cloud. You get,
Yes.
Just with the,
you get with
you just walk around with a
you
mouth
put the-
hose.
yeah, you put the hose in your mouth and you suck up their cloud. And then if they get mad, you'd be like, you dispose of it, dude. It's a
You
libertarian
threw it
company.
out.
It's
You don't
libertarian.
own it.
It's
Yeah.
entirely libertarian for me to suck the free cloud.
I have to add my new card to this. This is the
Oh,
worst.
Yeah, me and Amber have the same bank, and they send you a new card every 3.5 weeks.
Because they get hacked
They
every
get-
fucking
yeah,
2 weeks.
They're constantly getting hacked.
bank gets hacked.
Always.
That is the worst thing to
Yeah.
happen to a bank.
Through Amalgamated Bank because
Yeah.
like I like had a job that like banked there because I worked for socialists.
Right,
and,
right.
And they were like,
Well, they're a good bank.
Let's not bank with someone who kicks black people out of their homes.
Yeah, they're a good
Right.
bank on the issues. They support a $15 minimum.
Yeah.
And they
They're
offer
the union bank.
They offer like truly free checking for
but
low wage
really
workers.
get what you pay for.
Oh yeah, dude, constantly.
What
No,
a
I went in
weird
today to
name.
get
What
my.
does amalgamated mean? What
It's
is
the
it?
amalgamated like
Amalgamated.
clothes workers union or something. It was a union
Yeah.
fucking 100 years ago.
Amalgamated means combined.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
An
look at
amalgam.
Word Boy fucking up too. Why don't you go
idiot.
take
You
an
know- you
amalgamated
know
lunch
An
back in the
amalgam.
I went through-
library?
I w-
Learn how to
Listen.
read, you
Can I
fucking
just
idiot.
refine
High
by
five,
things
dude.
that don't accept cash?
that lunch took a little bit out of me, but
Can we talk about how Bob the fucking drag queen regrabbed some of my shit, dog?
Congrats.
The drag
Robert.
queens are on my are on my shit, dude, and I feel great about it.
You got a big
Yeah,
rig
I'm
meal
friends
going,
with drag
you know?
queens.
Are you? Who?
Why don't you stop fetishizing the gay community, dude?
Huh?
Why
I'm
don't you stop
celebrating
being a
them.
gay tourist.
I'm
and-
celebrating
I mean,
their
I think
power
to be fair,
and beauty.
he's fetishized by the gay.
I think the
Yeah,
only way to
if
make this
anything.
not feel wrong, what you're doing, is
Just to
if
be gay.
well, no, if we get a vial of HIV positive blood and inject it into him.
Jesus fucking Christ.
What is on your mind today?
Being fair is on my mind, dude. Justice.
Can I just?
Jeez.
I don't want to think I want to do that, dude. What if I just sucked you and Adam off?
No,
Why not?
I think you
What's
have
the
to have
gayest
AIDS.
thing you guys have ever done? Gayest.
Sex with like 6 men.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's a good
It
question.
is a good question.
I don't know, man. I was just fucking naked with a gay man dressed
For a
as
picture.
Mario.
That's pretty gay.
I went to a pumpkin patch.
I was in a
That's
committed,
gay.
loving relationship with a woman.
Yeah.
That's actually probably the gayest thing I've ever done
Yeah.
in my life.
Well, okay.
I had to use a photo booth with a woman.
I don't know. How about you?
One time a girl made
I've
me
done
listen to
some
Tom
gay-ass
Waits
shit.
and cried in my room. And they got
That's
mad at me
gay.
for not
That's
also
very
That's
crying.
not gay. That's
Yo,
just like
straight up,
being in college.
Yeah,
Tom Waits
I was
is-
in
He never
college.
went to college.
Tom Waits is trash, right?
No.
Am I?
Yeah.
What?
Actually,
he's
he's trash.
trash.
There's a back.
Tom Waits is
There's
trash.
a backlash.
he's a
going on right now
grumbly
'cause he
voiced
does a lot
bitch.
Of corny Cookie Monster voice.
Yeah.
I
But,
just don't
like-
like listening to it.
The
That's
boat
sank.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
the sea
captain died. That's a
I'm trying
good
to do a
Tom
Cookie
Waits.
Monster
That's also a
voice.
good Mike Lawrence.
Does he do that voice in all his songs, or are there songs
No,
where he
he's
just sings?
like a jazz musician and then like a sort of like a abstract jazz musician.
Oh.
Like he used to do like different stuff.
So he made his voice into jazz
yeah,
music.
no, well, he got really
Oh.
into Captain Beefheart, and so that's him basically kind of trying to sound like Captain Beefheart.
Yeah, that to me
It
is
all
also
sounds like
they were
also
friends.
More like
trash.
more like
They were
Captain
friends.
all
Queefheart.
sounds like Louis Prima. They're all ripping off him.
Louis
yeah.
Prima.
Or
Louis
Louis
Prima.
Armstrong.
Louis Prima.
Yeah.
you mean Louis Armstrong.
Who's
No.
Louis Primo?
Louis
He's,
Prima just doesn't have like a gravelly voice at all.
Yeah, he
though.
does, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't.
You're talking about Louis Armstrong, the most
No, not
famous
the
Louis
fucking guy that went
jazz
to the
guy.
moon.
That has a
That's so fucking.
Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong's the first guy to ride a bicycle on the moon. Everybody knows this, dude.
what? Nothing accepts cash.
He got a space bike.
I gotta go and get my card.
Okay.
That's
No,
fine.
that's
sorry. I know
fine.
this is fantastic content.
Yeah,
No
I know.
worries.
I know. Like the way technology works is they invent something, then they improve on it, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Mhm.
what dumbass thought that giant wheel bicycle was the best first one?
First
And then
big.
why didn't you start with even wheels? Like that wasn't the first thing you
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
Dude, because you fucking go fast as hell, dude.
On the giant wheel bicycle?
Yeah,
No, you
dog.
don't.
No, you don't.
You fucking
don't.
you
Wait,
pedal
is
that
the
bitch and
gear,
it goes fast.
the gear is fixed to the front wheel and not the back wheel?
On the big one?
On
Yeah,
the big
it's a
one.
fixie. So I understand.
part of it.
It's
I
a
underst-
fixie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that shit was stupid looking as
I
hell.
think it was more about like the novelty of being like
Tall
5
up.
feet above
But there was
every commoner.
there was something before
walking
the
in the
bicycle.
gutter.
Mhm.
Before pedals, there was a thing called the Dandy Walker, which was this.
Oh, I know him.
Oh yeah, he follows stuff. Bicycle, but it was just uncomfortable. It was like a 2x4 over 2 wheels, and it would jam up in your crotch, and it got you just high enough that like the
You
the
just
balls of your
start
feet
walking.
hit the ground,
Oh
so
my
you would just
God.
sort of like float.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but imagine the New Yorker mascot riding around on one of those.
That's pretty good.
And that's like who it was for. It's for, you know,
I want
It's
to
amazing. though.
Tall
Like,
hatted
think
queers.
about like the locomotion of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like when a baby sits on a skateboard and just
Yeah.
scoots along.
No, it really is. It's like that thing they make for babies, which is like the diaper with a tripod under it.
Oh yeah.
So that the baby can learn walking. If I had a kid, I would never teach it how to walk.
Me neither, or talk.
Think about how much more intimidating is a crawl. Imagine like a
Just a
fully grown
crawled
man,
man?
like crawling,
Yeah.
but like crawling fast, yeah, because they've been doing it their whole life.
Like the African guy from Bloodsport.
Yeah. Imagine like a tough burly guy.
What is that, quad?
He's coming into some roadhouse bar and he's crawling across the floor because his dad never taught him how to walk. You're not gonna look that guy in the eye.
He'd be
You know
like,
how much rage he has?
Just biting your ankles.
He's gonna suck your fucking thumbs off, dude.
nah, dude. He would just be like Mowgli, dude. He'd just hang out with the bears.
From the
Did I ever tell you that story? Man, I wish I could remember who it was, but somebody was working in a pizza restaurant. Their boss got fired for calling the Indian guy who worked there Mowgli.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's mean.
There was
Yeah,
some
that's pretty
workplace.
racist.
Yeah, but it's such a funny way to be racist.
Yeah, it's
to call someone
the
Mowgli.
only like familiarity I have with your race is a childhood
Yeah.
story.
Hey,
Aladdin.
Hey,
Sorry, I haven't updated my racism
Yeah.
since I was 8.
Well, that's really when you need to make your mind up, and then ever since that, you can just have your opinions.
What are you talking about?
I was racist as hell as a fucking little kid, dude.
Were you?
Yeah, dude. Greek people are so racist.
Yeah.
It sucked. I didn't know.
There have
I didn't know it was
actual Nazis
bad.
out where you live.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
racist
we were
because
the-
I
we were
like
the good guys.
sports a lot, so I thought black people were really awesome.
Yeah, I was super not racist at all as a kid. I'm serious.
No,
You grew
yeah, me
into it?
too.
Yeah, kind of. Well, because I developed a sense of humor, and then I wanted to really see where it took me. And then I got into like irony and stuff, and then well,
And soon you'll just be a Nazi.
Yeah, right. Now
Then
I'm an
you're-
editor on Stormfront.
On November 6th, 5th, what is the election day?
9th,
9th,
8th.
8th. No, on November 8th, you're going to finish being an irony boy by checking that T button.
I'm not gonna vote.
I'm probably not going to get it together and vote. But
do you mean?
only because there's, I mean,
doesn't matter. Hillary's
I'm
doesn't
waiting for
matter.
election day so
Yeah.
I can buy a "Make America Great Again" hat. That's
Right.
yeah,
really
of
the only
course.
thing
That's
I
what
fucking care
everyone's
about.
doing.
God, it
I
is.
want that hat. I hate all of the parody hats. I hate all this Drumpf bullshit.
Hey, grab him by the pussy again. Huh?
Yeah.
I will say
On a
that
red hat.
the camo. So he's been switching it up from the
The
red
camo's awesome.
to the
camo
camo
one's the
with the
best.
orange letters.
Wait,
Make
camo
America
was
great.
awesome.
That looks like
I want
that
a
looks
camo
like hype
bumper sticker
streetwear.
to put on the
What?
back of my truck that says "Yes, I steal valor," and then it's got Calvin pissing on the word veterans.
That would be awesome. Damn, I want that one.
Yeah. So Amber, what'd you do today?
I tried to, well, I had student meetings. Met with some
Lame.
students.
With
and I
your
tried to go to a
kids?
psychic.
Oh shit, sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Did they read your fucking fortune?
No, I want to do an article about tarot
Okay.
stuff. So I want to go to one, but like they were both like one was booked up and one was closed. So I just ended up getting rained on, and then I couldn't find then the restaurant I wanted to go to was closed. So I walked to this other one, and this giant mobby looking Russian guy sat in an empty restaurant in the table next to me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Like neck.
Empty restaurant, two people.
Neck tats or huge neck?
Huge neck.
Gotcha.
Huge neck.
And he was trying to holler.
Yeah.
What'd he
It was
say?
like,
Work?
hello, you look very nice today. And I'm
Was
like,
he like Eastern Promises?
Did you
kinda guy?
smash?
no, he was like really giant. It was like built like a refrigerator.
Oh,
Hell
that's
yeah.
hot.
Yeah, that's
So you guys fucked right there.
Right there.
Fucked on the
right
table.
at Sichuan Pot on whatever street it's
You
on.
had hot pot?
I didn't get hot pot, but it was a hot pot restaurant.
I had
just
hot
ordered
pot.
off
Would
the
you-
Sichuan menu.
I had hot pot this weekend. It was unbelievable.
I took Nick to a really good
Hot
to-
pot?
Yeah, to a really good hot pot.
Really cool.
Would you fuck a giant man in the Russian mafia? If it meant like
no,
no.
no,
Did you fuck Kadyrov?
no.
The
It's the
dictator of
Chechnya.
Chechnya?
Yeah.
That's
no.
what actually, that's where